Greetings, heroes and villains in the making. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're here to discuss and recap Ben Lipson and Company's superhero-based series.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Made possible by the fans of a really good idea.
So join us as we chronicle the adventures and goings-on of Super Academy. Okay, just to be clear, on that second to last line, was I supposed to say the name of the series? Like, here to discuss Ben Lipson and Company's superhero-based series, Super Academy?
No, yeah, you got it right. It's like I have an audio issue. It's on my. It's fine now. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. My bad. Push the wrong button. My bad.
The Sloth Master is doing the intro very slowly. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. We're good. It's fine.
Thank God.
It's fast.
Okay, you're scaring me, man. You're scaring me. Come on, we can do this. We can get past.
Don't worry, folks. We got past the chaos encryption. Hopefully.
Oh God, hopefully.
The chaotrix encryption, thankfully.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, BlueDragonFive, how have you been this week? How is your week without Super Academy as we wait for the new episode?
It was a long. I was waiting for this one because I just really wanted to see what was going to happen. I still can't wait to see what the next one's going to be because this one was fantastic.
It was, and this one is, of course, the penultimate episode going into the finale. So I think that there is definitely a lot to discuss, a lot to speculate. There's a lot up in the air, specifically with a favorite dark police officer of ours that, very mysterious goings on. So without further ado, do you want to kind of break it all down?
Certainly. So, well, should we go over overall thoughts or just go right into it?
Let's do overall thoughts at the end.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's just get right into it. So what's our name for this episode?
The name of the episode is Secrets.
Ooh. Okay, so episode 3.
Mysterious.
Secrets. Okay, so
all right, so we have.
So presumably picking up from the last episode, presumably given it's the same set, it looks like, and it would make sense. We see a tired and probably still energy drained Corona. I mean, we don't know if she could be passed out for days after all this stuff she was doing. Right. But like the way I like to think about it is like this is like directly after the last episode, and they're just staying with her to keep her company.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's passed out at the moment, but they're just making sure that she's all good.
For all I know, though, it could just be like Corona's room, and they were invited over, and she just fell asleep. We don't know. But anyway,
or it could be like days later, and she's like literally still passed out, and they're taking shifts on watching her. We don't know.
So, the people specifically who are watching Corona, it's Power Kid and Glyph.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not just sticking around. They're watching Dr. Phantasm.
What else would they be doing? I mean, come on! You got to get with the Dr. Phantasm here.
And again, Dr. Phantasm, we finally get to see. We've been building up for a while. We heard the name.
Yes.
I speculate it was a little bit like kind of like Mask of the Phantasm working with Doctor Who. It's named possibly, but visual completely Doctor Who.
Indeed.
But it's not
very
like
cheesy, very like 60s Britain looking.
Yeah, it's like the even with the look, I guess it's like older Doctor. Again, I don't really watch Doctor Who, but I remember like there's on Futurama, I've seen the old Doctor Who a few times. They had like the big hat and the multicolored.
Yeah, I would definitely think it'd be like late 60s, early 70s Doctor Who, maybe.
That's
I don't know.
Humble guess. Point is.
Humble guess, exactly.
Again, kind of the super.
I'm just judging on the fashion more than anything else.
And the brilliant thing with the Dr. Phantasm, it's Doctor Who within a superhero with a superhero name and a superhero universe.
Of course.
So anyway, so it's this.
So it's like, man, I can relate to this guy because I can use these powers.
I wonder how she's watching. Because remember, she had the projector of the Dr. Phantasm episodes. I wonder.
I don't know.
I don't know, I'm going to assume DVD, but I don't know. It could be projection. It looks cool either way. So,
Yeah.
this episode about of Dr. Phantasm specifically is about the dream dimension.
I see what you guys did there. I see what you guys did. You put in a little, a little teaser of what the episode was going to be about, right there in the intro. Good job. Good job.
Now, in all seriousness, there is some interesting seeding of the idea here, so they do kind of seed
absolutely there is, yeah.
So our location later on doesn't come out of complete nowhere and does thematically tie in. So there's an interesting explanation for kind of our adventure later in the episode. It's really interesting.
Especially the way the enemies show up, the Dream Slayers that'll later show up with a particular villain that we'll talk about later in another sequence.
Exactly. So basically, while Glyph's watching this with Farrakhan, not exactly watching it as he is kind of falling asleep while he's writing the paper. He's nodding off. Anyway, so also we have yet again Powerkid's love of chips in the scene.
Oh yes, oh yes.
He takes it on his way out of the room, by the way, just like a little parting gift. Takes one chip on his way out. Oh, Powerkid, God bless him. So, and anyways, basically, so Powerkid, he's nodding off, saying, "Well, basically, she's asking how the papers come along. Well, yeah, but I'm gonna finish it after I take some Z's. Essentially, he's gonna go back to his room, gonna catch some Z's.
I must say that's very relatable because I'm kind of like in the middle of a college semester myself, and I'm like, sleep. What is that?
Yeah. And let's see. So then, so as Powerkid leaves again, so this is interesting. We have essentially a Glyph, Glyph-centric episode. I'd say. She has a big portion.
Oh, absolutely, a Glyph-centric episode.
Which I was really surprised by the way, and I was delighted too. Like, I didn't see it coming. I was half right what I was expecting, but still Glyph in the focus here.
Well, I think this episode really sets up kind of the core characters of the series and really definitely establishes them. But we'll get to that later on. Which
is an interesting move for the first goings of the Super Academy series. Hopefully, first of many.
Hopefully, indeed.
If that's the case, it'd be a brilliant notion of your main characters get the first season, and some other characters get the rest of them for the episodes with him going forward.
Yeah, it almost kind of reminds me of how they do it with Lost, but of course we don't get flashbacks or anything like that. But with Lost, it always focuses on one central character. Anyways.
So Glyph here, I really fell in love with Glyph yet again in this episode. Man, she's really a great character every time I see her on this thing. So, she's really captivated by the episode about this dream dimension. Again, the similarities here: dream dimension, spooky forest, dream slayers, which sounds kind of like a cross between again, bear in mind there might be an actual direct reference here from Doctor Who, but I'm assuming it's like a Dalek mixed with like the name with like a Freddy Krueger, like that one Freddy Krueger movie where they have like the Dream Warriors.
Sure.
That's what it sounded. When I hear Dream Slayers, I was thinking like that weird Freddy Krueger movie title, like the Dream Warriors. It's like that's such a weird name.
And then we get kind of a funky '60s style intro.
Yes, we do, and I love this intro. By the way, this intro was fantastic.
Do you happen to look up old Doctor Who intros to see how well it matched?
Well, I was
curious about that.
Well, I know they go.
Or if they did their own thing with it, but just kind of took homage from '60s style.
Well, I'm sure it's. I remember some Doctor Who's they go through this weirdly whirly tunnel, and I remember from specifically on Family Guy there was this in the Star Wars thing they went through like the Millennium Falcon goes to light speed, and then you see the Doctor Who opening, and the guy's.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I assume like you go through a tunnel, then you see that image, and it's essentially, I believe, what this is going for. And anyways, the point is it's doing this really great little windy thing. What I love particularly about this, two elements. One, I love how like the symbols of like the Hot Chocolate Media presents and Super Academy in the name. It's like kind of in a stylized, not font, but like a design of the logo. It's like within
exactly
60 styles, and also I love like the film grain on it too. I love the film grain. It looks great. Also before that though, we have this weird thing with the Doctor instead of using a sonic screwdriver, using what I hope this can be clarified in the comments, perhaps. I don't know what the Dr. Phantasm's holding. I don't know if it's like a nail or a screw or a stick. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a reference to the screwdriver, which I think if it's a nail, that'd be pretty hilarious, but I don't know.
Very mysterious.
So again, the credits fantastic. It'd be nice if, like, going forward, or hopefully again next season, all willing, if they did like kind of these great little tweaked intros. I think it'd be kind of a neat notion.
Almost kind of in a similar vein to Better Call Saul in a way.
Yeah, in a way, you know, yeah, similar.
I mean, I know it's different.
Yeah,
Better Call Saul, it's more just the image that changes up, but yeah, no, I definitely like the rotating intro. It definitely makes for obviously for some good variety.
Yeah, spicing up the intros. That's a great idea. I think they should push that too, like the different styles and like things that relate to the episode. It's a good move. That's my 2 cents on it. Okay, so we go to our kind of our meat of the episode here. Kind of the reason for the episode following is we're in the advanced metaphysical seminar.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And I believe it's Madam A. I believe that's her name, our teacher.
Okay.
Because I looked in the credits, and I'm going to get to sign notes in the credits by the end of this episode too. By the way, in the credits, there are a few. Yeah, sometimes you got to attach the names to the character that seems most fitting to it. So sometimes it's a but I mean, there were 2 characters that I thought could have been the teacher, but I think I think Madam A sounds best because it's Madam. It's
that seems like it would fit. Right.
Sounds cool too. I mean, it sounds fitting. I could be wrong. I think I'm right though.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Madame A, she's presiding over the advanced metaphysical seminar, which I love. Just kind of the idea of it's like metaphysics, but it's like it's advanced, meaning magic.
Okay, now this bit really reminded me of my own personal college experiences right now, because it was just like she's just like warning everyone like, oh, you're going to encounter intense meditation and stressful psychological interactions. But don't worry, you'll be fully equipped to deal with stressful situations. And it's just like she's hyping it up to be like a little bit terrifying.
It's kind of like those not the introductory. It's like when they get the syllabus and all the
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's the orientation day of like just. Yeah, they contractually have to go through the syllabus, read you the things
and
basically
relate to that in terms of like, especially because I'm taking an IT class, which is essentially like taking apart and rebuilding computers.
You're going to want to punch that computer, but you got to resist that urge, mister.
God damn it, yes. I'm taking the first part of that class, and there's a second part to that class that I don't know if I want to take, because the teacher just hypes it up so much. He's just like, he basically says, like, yeah, the first 8 weeks of that class are hell, and then the second 8 weeks of that class are a different kind of hell. Yeah. And I'm like, so you're basically saying that you're putting your students through hell. I mean, I love you, Scott. I really do. He's an awesome teacher, but I don't know. I just...
Oh, Chaotrix. Why? We love you, Chaotrix. Why are you doing this to us? Sorry, folks, little technical difficulty. Assuming Tiki doesn't come back within approximately 10 seconds, I'm going to just keep moving on. 10, 9, 8. Oh, so by the way, well, I'll take the opportunity here just to thank the Escapist Network for providing us with this episode. Hot Chocolate Media again for making Super Academy here with us now, so we can talk about it. It's a fantastic show. And while he's coming back, so yeah, just 3 episodes in, can't wait for the 4th, and he's back, thankfully.
Thanking the sponsors while I'm away. Really good move, really classy.
Okay, so. Should we move on with the metaphysics?
Yeah, what was the last thing you heard? Because I just kind of went on this big soliloquy about the stresses of college, and then I cut out somewhere.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying Scott, and then you were saying something, then I cut out.
Oh, Scott. Love you, Scott.
Yeah.
If he's watching.
I was pronouncing our love for Chaotrix, even though she puts us through technical difficulties. We love her, though.
Oh dear. All right, let's go through this. Let's get through this as fast as we can before Chaotrix does anything else.
I'm just going to assume Death Side's putting her up to, because she's a nice lady. No.
You know what, Chaotrix? You can steal like these fancy batteries and everything. That's fine. Just don't mess with our show. That's where you kind of cross this moral boundary for us.
Yeah.
Just don't put us in danger.
Ward's a bit of an egomaniac. He kind of deserves a robbery now and then. You know, that's where we're promoting. You know, we're promoting love for the Deaf Side team over here.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay. Anyway, so Madame May, she's given the orientation for the advanced metaphysical seminar here, and basically you'll be through meditation, psychological. There would be some psychological stressful interactions here, but by the end of it, you'll be well equipped to deal with that sort of stuff by the end. Okay, anyway, so then particularly this first assignment they were given is about the first test, I guess. Getting a test right out of the gate too. I mean, this is an advanced class.
I've had classes like that, man. I have.
So I guess I don't know how long they have. I'm guessing like within a week, maybe two. They basically
sounds like it's a week.
Yeah, I think you get a week vibe from it. Not a week vibe. I mean, it's at least 7.
This is a weak test, bro. I'm getting
Anyway.
weak vibes off your test.
So basically, the first test is about telepathy and mind mind control, essentially. I'm sorry, not about telepathy and mind control. It's like a lot of students have telepathy, powers in telepathy and mind control. So this assignment is kind of.
I really like the very subtle shot of the one girl looking at Glyph.
Yeah, the
Notice that?
Yeah, the mask girl, like her name is Mask something.
Yeah,
that was neat though. Yeah.
It just goes to show you that the creators are definitely taking their time to kind of like form these little subtle interactions, even when there's not much going on.
Yeah, it's like colorblind Kyle and Bliffs and the Clown. They have like they're in the last scene of the episode, which we'll get to. There's in the background. It's just like, wow, there they are. It's like the students are everywhere, and I love how you have these interesting books. So hopefully down the line, we'll get to know these guys a little more. It's like Just League Unlimited. In Just League Unlimited, Tiki, that's when Just League just broke out of these 7 members. Basically, there's like 52 members of Just League, and there'd be people in the background. Like there's 2 characters, Shining Knight and Vigilante. They were just pals, and they play chess together. They watch old westerns together, and they're doing stuff in the background while the episode's going on.
Oh, that's cool. So they're not even involved in the superhero antics or anything.
No, exactly. They're just hanging out. It's cares too. Like they go to lunch together. It's such a
kind of like Gene Kelly's hanging out behind stage at the Muppet Show.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. And there's usually 2 characters in that field.
Okay.
And again, I don't remember Shining not getting a sponge mop, but I could be mistaken. Yeah. Anyway, so it's like that's the thing is they have these really neat characters. They can like almost have an entire episode based around these characters. Just they look so interesting and look like, man, I wonder what they got going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like Tin Knight. I'd love to see what Tin Knight does in his off time. I really would. We're gonna get to Tin Knight. Don't worry.
We will.
Oh, Tin Knight. Tin Knight's awesome. So again, so basically, the teacher here, Madame A, she's going to implant students with these dormant thought, these dormant thoughts, and basically this dormant thought project is they're going to be exposed to, and they have to work their way through it and progress through it.
I like how as she's explaining the assignment, the Tin Knight is just nodding like, yes, I can do this. I'm ready.
It's like I don't know why. I feel he's very endearing because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and he just what happens.
And then he kind of fails.
Yeah.
It's like Rocky.
It's like Tin Knight's in his own '80s movie. That's what's happening. Tin Knight's in his own movie, and it's like the '80s movie where it's like he tries his hardest and just eventually.
There's like a montage of him walking up the steps of the Philadelphia court building.
Exactly. Well, again, for studying, which of course does not help benefit him at all.
No, but still, gotta pump you up, man.
That's a great way to keep in shape, according to
Indeed. I mean, not as good of a way as doing stagehand, but.
Okay, anyway, so again, she implants glyphs for stars. Like glyph, you step right up. She does this thing, puts the hands in front of her head, and basically implants a dormant thought process in her mind. So basically, within the week, I guess she needs to work through it, and then work through the process, and then she accomplishes whatever goals in her mind she needs to do, and then she'll pass when she comes back in, and she'll read it, and then pass or fail if you went through the experience and you learned something. Okay, lunchtime.
So then we get a nice transition. Dark Cop, he just thinks that she's incredibly foolish letting someone implement a thought into her mind like that.
This scene is first of all, I love these kind of scenes. Just love like the mundane, like they're all eating lunch together, and of course I love Dark Cop in the mix too. Because I mean, I'm just more and watching, especially this episode. Dark Cop gets some of the best scenes. He really does.
And I'm just gonna point this out right now, how awesome it is. Power Kid eating a cup of chips.
Yeah, again, he loves his chips. Well, here I think it's like, now I could be wrong here because I know that Corona has a bit with this. I think they're tater tots. I'm not sure.
Oh, are they tater tots? Okay,
I want to say they're tater tots because they look kind of roundish.
That could be. That could be.
I could be wrong. But
I just saw the cup and I was like, oh my god, is that a cup of chips?
Yeah. I'm assuming they're tater tots. Like the whole thing's like tater tots, and I think Dark Cup has.
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
And like Dark Cup has some sort of burger or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, so again, I love these scenes because remember we had that great bit. Again, it's kind of connecting the dots a little bit. Where Dark Cup, he does value. Again, I think there's some great subtlety with Dark Cup that's been established up to this point. That Dark Cup, he does value these moments a lot because remember you saw in his computer last episode, you have the bit where he's talking to these when Power Kid drunk dialed him, and he's he basically on his computer has like the moments of them at the lunch table and them hanging out. He really does, you know. And in just seeing Dark Cup kind of comfort zone, he's telling these people directly what he thinks. He's saying, you can't let people in your mind. That's foolish. You just let a random thought into your mind. You don't know if this thought's going to be good or bad, and it's supposed to be a psychological challenge too. I mean, there can be a lot of danger. And she says, well, it's supposed to be hard. There's no learning experience if it's not hard. So again, Dark Cop, interestingly enough, again, he's not wrong. He's absolutely right that you don't want just people putting random thoughts in your mind. That could be dangerous.
If I was in a college class and this guy was just going to be like, hey, I'm just going to put a weird thought in your head and you're just going to have to get, I would just be like, okay, dude, I'm out. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the class and get my $100 back. See ya.
That's the thing I like. It's like Dark Cop is, for the most part, he's never, like Dark Cop, again, he's absolutely right when he reads people. Again, interacting with them, that's another thing entirely. But again, he's never exactly in the wrong. He's usually, like 9 times out of 10, he's right about things. But again, the way that gets communicated, that's what butchers things at the end for him.
Exactly.
Anyway, so he thinks it's absolutely foolish. And, Corona, again, I love this. First of all, I love the seating choice of this, too, by the way. Again, it's a Dark Cop right next to Corona. And, of course, those characters, whether there is a Darkona going on or not. And this episode, we got a new ship this episode.
We did, yes.
You can name it. I'll let you name it.
Oh, God.
Not that I can stop you. Well, it's already Glyph.
No, Pliff.
Oh, Pliff.
Yeah.
No, I can't see anything wrong with that. I think it works. Pliff. That's kind of fun.
I think that's fine. Pliff.
Pliff. Yes, it's fun to say. It's all pleasant.
Yeah, it is.
Pliff.
I mean, of course, not as fun as Hugby.
Oh, let's not bring up Freakazoid now. Okay, anyway, though, but seriously though, I'm saying while we have Dark Cop and Corona here, they're great. They're great counter opposites to each other. Dark Cop, we heard from the very first episode, he hates people getting into his head, especially when it's Corona getting into his head. And Corona, obviously, she embraces that sort of thing. Well, that's in my wheelhouse. I love getting people's heads. That's how we communicate. That's
what I'm saying. Opposites attract.
There's a very good chance. I'm just saying, there's their Cotrix, which the end of this episode suggests we might, get a hint or something of that.
Possibly, yeah.
I would say at least we might get some seeing how it might pan out in the future with what direction we might go into.
And by the way, how adorable is it that Glyph is just tossing food into Corona's mouth from across?
Yeah, that is adorable. Again, these four characters are so great together. These actors communicate such great chemistry with each other,
And I think this scene is probably the definitive scene out of the 3 episodes that establishes these these 4 characters as like the core of the show. Would you agree?
Absolutely. This first season is about these 4 characters. It really is.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Corona, she obviously approves of this exercise. It's what she's used to, and Glyph just wanted to know, well, how should I approach this? Like, how does it work? How do you kind of work through these thoughts? When you get in someone's head like that. So again, it's an interesting scene, kind of psychology mixed with magic here, and of course you have like abilities like telepathy or telepathy or mind control here when you're working with that. Of course, it factors in, well, just the route of using that power would be through magic. So it's kind of a nice correlation they got going there with that power and with this thing. It's still uncharted territory for Glyph because Glyph is usually like affecting physical things. Physical things, or like the route of she was working on teleportation as her thesis, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing her kind of go into different territories of magic. And also, the thing with Glyph's character, she's pushing herself, because again, this is an advanced a metaphysical seminar here, so this is advanced specifically. So, I mean, she's pushing it. So Glyph's a great student. She really is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, obviously Starburst, when he called her Hermione, that was kind of an insult, but I don't think he was that far off with the comparison, really.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see. So then Corona's advice is, well, the way she describes it, I love Darkup's reaction during this too, by the way. It just cracks me up. It's just, by the way, I want to take a moment to say, because we get really up-close shots, and we get some great shots this episode. I think the cinematography of this episode is probably the best out of the three so far.
I would definitely say so.
I really think that I think each episode has been kind of pushing a technical element each time. I think this one is really great production values, and I love just seeing the material in Darkup's costume too. I think that's gotten a lot better too since the pilot. I mean, the mask looks fantastic. Sure. I assume with budget, and they've had to make some adjustments, and just the mask all around looks great for all the characters, and the costumes look fantastic. But Darkup's mask, and when it gets in full focus, really nice. Anyway, so Corona says it's like bringing up a thought, and love that she's gesturing for it too, and just as you're just thinking of how to describe, Darkup's giving her this
more hand movement, like you were suggesting.
I love her hand movements, I really do. And of course, Darkup giving this look of like, what are you doing? just giving her that look, and basically just pushing it out.
Just push it out.
Yeah. Again, it's so adorable. And yeah, it's interesting advice. And basically what's communicated there is, she's just like, have these thoughts, and just, interesting enough, again, I'm kind of drawing a Darkup parallel here because I really love Darkup. Just,
I know you do.
There's a parallel there of like, Darkup has all these brilliant thoughts, but just getting them out there is his issue. And maybe I might be reaching here if it's like he's looking at her and this is all communicated intentionally, but I think it's an interesting thing to take into account. Darkup has a similar issue. Again, these two characters are great opposites to each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. They make a cute couple.
Hey, I'm for any relationship with Darkup, right?
Okay.
Believe me, I love Darkatrix, but if it doesn't happen, I'm more happy to live with Darkona. But even if they're all just friends and pals, I can take.
That's fun too. That's absolutely fun.
Yeah, we don't want to force relationships, but if they happen, that's great.
We don't want to force relationships, but when it comes to recaps and podcasting, shipping is fun to talk about.
Yeah, it's fun wish fulfillment,
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, though, so let's because we're bringing this up because we got a new ship and we're excited about it, but we'll get to it. Okay, let's see. So again, the whole bringing the thoughts up and pushing out. So we get some really great advice here that does come into focus, especially the next bit of advice from Power Kid. Now, I gotta tell you, I think it's adorable. I don't think we've mentioned this before. I love how she calls him PK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's called him that since the little Meet the Heroes segment, like the little glyph introductions, like she talks about.
And thanks to that, I use PK in my notes as an abbreviation, and I wouldn't have even thought of that if she hadn't brought it up. So
I use a lot of abbreviations in my notes, so PK, DS, DC.
You see, if I started doing that, then I'd have a hard time keeping track of all of them. Anyways.
G.
Who's G?
Glyph.
Who's B? Haven't done that in a while.
For those watching Medicine Pizza Motel reference, if any new watchers of this. Okay. Anyways, let's see. So then, what's Power Kid's advice to you?
Power Kid's advice is very simple but very prominent. It's just focus on the important stuff and work from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solid advice.
Indeed.
I think it's fitting for Power Kid too. Just like focus on the important stuff. The rest comes later. So Power Kid's a guy who has like a general idea, and then just like whatever happens, like hopefully it works out good for him.
Mm-hmm. So Darkhawk, he does not agree. He's just like, well, once a foreign entity enters the mind, there's very little to be done. And
then, well, before that hilarious bit is about to follow. Don't forget, while this is happening, Corona.
Oh my God.
She takes again. So I guess like Glyph has like tater tots on a napkin, whatever the food is. I'm gonna call it tater tots because it looks like.
I'm guessing that it's mustard, right?
No, it's like tater tots.
Oh, it's not.
It's
it looked like a sauce to me that she was licking.
Again, I don't know. I guess I don't know why I don't have an eye for food with this, but I assume
that we could use some clarification on. I guess.
I'm just saying it looks a lot like tater tots, and because there are a lot of tater tots in this scene. So she's bringing the clothes. They're like on a napkin. It makes sense you put little tater tots on a napkin if you don't have a tray. Which I wonder why they don't have trays at this place. Like very little trayage in this.
Inside the secrets of Super Academy, the school is actually terribly underfunded.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I'd love to see explored in a season 2 of like where the funding comes for this school. I would love to know that.
What if it actually turned out to be like the worst school in the superhero like college district or whatever?
And yeah, it's interesting to think about like how many super colleges are there, like any starting villain colleges that are in the works.
Right, and that's something like if this kind of developed further and further and we got more episodes, I'd love to see some of that world building take place.
Even though we don't have a 4th episode, I'm thinking like next, like in a future season, not even next. Again, I'm hoping for a lot of seasons of this. Like down the line, if like Deathside tried doing what Emma Frost did, Emma Frost, an X-Men character, you know Emma Frost, you haven't seen First Class, sorry.
Yeah, she was actually the reason why I couldn't get through First Class.
Right. Well, the point is, so she's a great character outside of that movie.
Outside of the movie, sure.
Yeah. I mean, she's okay. I think she's okay in the movie, but you know,
okay. Look, I just hated her outfit so much that it made me not want to watch.
The outfit. Let's say she always has like a like an attractive outfit on. Like,
but to me, it's just like. I was offended. I was personally offended.
That's the caveat with the character. Like she's a great character, but she has to walk.
But it's just like, hey, look at my boobs. I don't know. I
think the fur was like.
I just don't like that kind of humor.
Okay, point.
I'm going on kind of a political rant here. I'm sorry.
Well, my point is with Emma Frost and with Deathside is like Emma Frost. She started her own school for mutants to kind of compete against Charles.
Okay.
School. So I'm thinking, what if Deathside under like a pseudonym or something had like had a school he's trying to teach villains is kind of a way to split out. Yeah, but it'd be like through it.
We can hold your lovely places.
So yeah, part of me can just imagine like Beatrix is like the spokeswoman, but she's dressed different, like she's in a costume or something, like a disguise. She's wearing a wig or something.
Oh God.
But I'm just saying the idea.
Why don't you tell the good friends of her where it isn't? Deathside Academy.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though, like an idea of a Deathside sponsored school secretly of villains going on there.
Sure.
Okay, anyway, so let's see. Right. Trying to think where we were. We went on all the school tangents. Oh yeah, well we were talking about the tater. Oh yeah, so tater tot gaze. She basically we're assuming tater tots are on this napkin. She's as the conversation.
Tater tots got us. Oh Jesus, we're bad. Come on, we need to stick to the point, man.
Okay, point is
this can't be another 2.5 hour episode, okay?
The point is she grabs tater tots here. She's like eating them by putting her face down to eat them individually. Like a hungry hippo sort of thing. It's adorable. Okay, anyway, so then as the Dark Cop says this thing here about one entity in the mind, little to be done. Cliff throws a marshmallow, like who's the, you would know best. Yes, I would. And she chucks a marshmallow. I love she has a cup of marshmallows, by the way. That's adorable.
That was just a nice little bit of banter between the two of them. Again, the chemistry between all 4 of these characters is just down to a T by now.
She tosses the marshmallow at him, and it's like kind of hard to tell. Like it looks almost like he deflects it. I kind of wish he did deflect it, but it's the fact again, I'm just gonna sound like I'm reading into it, but real quick, it's like it's Dark Cop. He anticipates these things and he thinks he's ready for them, but he's just not there yet because he wanted to deflect that marshmallow, but he just still got hit with the marshmallow.
Yeah.
I'm reading into it, I know, but I'm just saying though, Dark Cop's reflexes, Okay, so we got the Deathside and Chaotrix siege on the Ward building.
Yes.
Let's stop it. This is a fantastic sequence here. This is some great action we got here with Deathside and Chaotrix.
I mean, this is definitely in general. This episode has the best episode of the series, I'd say. And
this is again, we still got one more. But
I'm saying so far.
Right.
Come on.
You're right. But
I know we have one more. I'm not stupid.
Okay. Anyway, so
I'm not the sloth master. Hey, I'm not slow at these things.
Hey, Sloth Master is a genius. You'll see. You'll all see.
You'll see.
Anyway, so yeah, what this action sequence is, it's very good. It's very good. So First of all, see, let's talk about Death Side. So we get I was kind of right with this episode that I wanted to see. Like, I figured the villains are going to factor into this one a little more, so they can build to the finale. So you basically
indeed.
no, which is cool. And by the way, so now we get more of a look at Death Side after his nanites upgrade. And I got to tell you, I think that might have been their subtle way of looking at the pilot and saying, you know what, we got Death Side here, we got a cool villain, but you know we got to spice him up a little bit. You know, let's change him. Let's make him look a little more menacing. Let's kind of. Let's make him, again, it's no secret that he looks awfully similar to another character. And, I think this episode showed, because now they kind of obscured him in the previous episodes. I think here it shows you, they spiced up the design a little bit, and it's showing that he's a lot more different than that character.
Yeah, I really do think that it kind of makes the whole dynamic between those two a lot more believable. I think just the overall kind of change in design really does a lot to sort of make Death Side just more intimidating and older looking. Yeah, because I gotta tell you,
I really love this look on him too. By the way, the nanite chest piece he's wearing, like the chest piece that somehow like factored in the nanites. I don't know what other functions it has. Again, I can't wait to find out. But I don't know how they built this thing. I mean, it just like a little in darkness, it looks fantastic. That orange piercing light.
Right.
Little thing spinning around in it. It looks great. So this nanite upgrade is a really cool idea. And of course, they changed the mask up. A mask looks more like a gas mask than it does another sort of mask.
Exactly.
And it looks great. Plus, I think they changed the coat a little bit. Basically, the coat's just more of like kind of like I think it's like a duster. I think that's what they call it. And I think it looks great. Okay, anyway, so during this action sequence, I think interestingly, and this might be an interesting bit of foreshadowing for the next episode, I think, is that Death Side in this attack, so during this siege, a lot of guards there at the war building, armed guards, guns, billy clubs, you name it. Death Side's the powerhouse here. He's the attack. He's been upgraded. He's probably stronger, faster. He's definitely more brutal. His violence side definitely come out here. And with that, you'll notice like Death Side armed with a gun too. By the way, he's armed with the gun. He's like shooting these guys left and right for the kill. Very violent, really effective, really brutal, really cool. I think you notice that Chaotrix, on the other hand, she's much more strategic with her shots. And in a way, it would seem, and I think it's going to be big foreshadowing for the next one, it doesn't seem like she's not trying to kill unnecessarily. Like, she's shooting in the shoulder and stuff. And, like, of course, the guy she's going to talk to, she doesn't kill. And so I think it's important. She's not trying to kill. Like, she'll only kill if she has to. She's more willing to kill if she has to, or if she's ordered to kill. She's willing to do that. But doesn't want to kill if she doesn't have to. I think that might be a little bit of hope. Like, there's still hope for Chaotrix. Again, that whole Power Kid trying to reach Chaotrix thing, I think it's going to build with little factors like that. Plus, I think it fits her character, being the strategic kind of like get in, get out quickly, no unnecessary deviations. So this whole action scene just kind of on the whole, it's really good action. I think the pace is fantastic. It's really well. The whole episode is well paced. This scene also is really well paced still.
I mean, dare I say it, I do think that these 17-minute episodes, the two that we've gotten, do definitely have a better pace to them than. And I'm not saying the first episode of the season was bad by any means. It was
right. The first episode has to cement things in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying that these two episodes, Energy and then Secrets, I feel like they both very much kind of stand on their own because of the kind of just the little bit of time trimmed out, the 6 or 7 minutes. It really does kind of give them the opportunity to, really play around with the structure of the story and kind of create something unique out of the episode.
Yeah, I remember when I was rewatching this, I was looking at the timestamp or where the bar was, and I if I'm remembering correctly, like the 3-minute mark is when we get this scene. So this is like 3 minutes in. We still got a lot of stuff within 3 minutes.
Exactly.
That's like really close to the beginning. I don't remember how long exactly. The point is, also in this scene too, there's some really good score. But I want to point that out. They got a good score in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's an original score. It's decent. It fits the tone of the scene. Really nice. Okay, so let's see. So Death Side. Like I was saying, so Death Side feels more of his own character, with this, this great look, and like there's a great bit at the end of the scene where he's walking, like kicking a guy in the face. Again, this Death Side, I'm liking a lot more than the other one. Not against the old version or anything. You only had one episode, so I didn't have much time to grasp onto them.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think they've smartly upgraded him and kind of changed him around. Yeah, I think he's much more. He's living up to the legend. And by the way, I was reminded. I forgot this since the pilot, but his full name is Deathside the Conqueror.
Right.
I gotta tell you, if you thought Deathside was a cool name in itself, Deathside the Conqueror, that's even better.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, that is awesome. Okay, so let's see. So, after the kick in the face, then we got Glyph is prepping the spell for her trance so she can go inside her own mind and go through the experience. Power Kid has been tasked with watching her body. And a really nice little touch here. Yeah, I'm loving the little pleasantries with Glyph. Pleasantries.
Pleasantries get lit.
I love how she's fairly accommodating. She's they're a stack of comics, and my movie shelf is your movie shelf. She's really pleasant. I really love this character.
Sure. And I think Power Kid and her have had this dynamic since the beginning of just being, study buddies and everything like that. And they've kind of got each other's backs when it comes to these, complicated assignments.
And that's the thing with Pliff, is that they built so well. I mean, this had to be expected at some point with this shipping, because, these two have been in so many scenes together, again, since the Meet the Heroes onward. They have a little nickname, PK, they get along, they watch movies together, and, I don't think it's that much of stress because they have such good chemistry together that, maybe they get romantically involved. I think they're going to go for more friendship than romantic, I think, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they did get together, because, again, they smartly cemented in there that, it could happen.
Sure.
It's kind of like a Kim Possible, Ron Stoppel thing almost, that they're really good friends, it's like, so far.
Okay, so
how long am I watching you? And so then he corrects himself. That's not limit. And here's the thing that really made me think of Pliff. This Glyph throughout all her scenes with Power Kid. This is what I'm really saying. Glyph might be a genuine possibility here, is because every time they have a scene, every time Power Kid adorably kind of flubs the thing up a little bit, Glyph gives him this expression. She uses this expression go back and watch it, if you will. Anytime you just lovingly kind of a little slip up, the charming Power Kid route here. Glyph always gives this expression of, "Oh, Power Kid, I like you." And with that, it cements that she obviously she's friends with Power Kid. She took a liking to him. Maybe with a look like that all the time, maybe there's a little bit of room for something more. Okay, anyway, so
right.
So that expression always appears when she really likes having Power Kid around. That's all. So she suggests that, why don't you come with me? And says, oh well, I don't want. Can you do that? Yeah, sure, no problem. It's no problem at all. Well, essentially what she's saying is, I could use a spotter, someone to bounce off of. someone like if I start to lose my mind in there, someone to kind of bring me back.
She's just sort of cementing the fact that her and Power Kid just have a good dynamic together, and they can bounce ideas off of each other really well, more than anything else.
Yeah, bounce. There's a thing where, again, she likes having around when she's studying. So basically, if they she loses focus, and Power Kid kind of helps her find that focus again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Oh, Agent Carter, lovely.
We're pulling out a lot of our old podcast references.
But anyway, what I'm saying here is with the bounce off of idea here, I think it's also a smart thing of it's a spotter, because again, the teacher says, it's a metaphysical, a lot of psychological stressful activities here. You can
exactly, yeah.
Starts to lose it, basically Power Kid might be a calming agent to kind of spot her, and that you're starting to lose it. Okay, let me talk you through it so you can calm down in case something bad happens.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but the big question is, first we get an adorable Glyph is just please! Oh, Gene!
Okay. But sorry. However, she does do the puppy dog pat, again, a Kim Possible reference, but we've had it before with Corona. So again,
it's not quite as adorable as Corona, but come on.
I gotta tell you though, it does stand the
tough competition.
It does kind of stand the reason that, in one of Dark House pictures, Corona and Glyph, they spent a lot of time together, so maybe they picked up kind of some similar quirks of using the puppy dog pat. It's using the puffed lip approach.
That definitely happens with people that you spend a lot of time together with, yeah.
Okay, then he says, okay, fine, because, Power Kid's trepidatious. I think smartly, again, we're going to see, because later on there's a great bit of this that suggests that Power Kid's, Parakeet might be thinking about this more than it appears. And he might be thinking a lot of this on. He might be quick on the uptake that, okay, if I go inside this psychological exercise, maybe some of my psychology might come out, and that could be, revealing who my father is.
Sure.
Or my past. And maybe he's smartly kind of taking that into consideration here. Anyways, this is okay, fine, after the puppy dog. How can you say no to that face? So let's see. So then Parakeet brings up the smart question, well, who's going to keep watch? Who's going to watch our bodies?
And it's Sloth Master.
Oh my god! When I saw Parakeet saying, "No thanks, man," then we reveals Sloth Master, I lost it. That was hilarious. I get the if Colorblind Kyle is not the breakout star of this season, it has to be Sloth Master.
I think Sloth Master. Yeah.
People, from what I understand, like in the comments of some of the live streams, they go nuts for Sloth Master. They really love that guy.
No problem. I'm pretty patient.
Seriously, whoever plays Sloth Master, he does a fantastic job, which is the accentuating the bits like just knowing the right amount of speed to go for this guy. Okay, anyway, so that's Sloth Master. He's watching. He's got like a phone to keep time and stuff. We have this great little. We got some great effects this episode too. Really nice. Really nice kind of wavy effects. Basically, when the spell takes effect, like a little plume.
Cool.
And also, now this I thought was going to be a bigger plot point, but nothing that really could prove it otherwise. Is that he's drinking more Crimson Toro.
Oh God, I like how Crimson Toro kind of becomes like a symbol this episode.
Certainly.
Okay, so he looks at the Crimson Toro and then he opens it with his claw actually.
Uh-huh.
And then he just
But with the Crimson Toro, I was wondering if there's going to be. Well, again, we can't really tell because it's like, okay, he drinks the Crimson Toro, he moves at a brisk pace.
But we can't tell with him.
Yeah, we can't tell.
Slow down, you maniac!
Oh, Glisten the Clown.
Oh God.
Okay, anyway, so let's see. So meanwhile, Beatrix, back to our action set piece of the episode. Beatrix, she's picking the lock, and she interrogates one of the she's about to interrogate one of the scientists.
Mm-hmm.
She threatens the scientist for the battery. Give me I believe it's the new energy cell that was announced in the first episode. So the energy cell battery. Exactly. Hand it over. And he hands it over, and again, interesting enough, she doesn't just straight out kill the guy. She asks for it. Again, not taking unnecessary risks, very strategic, and maybe she doesn't want to kill people if she doesn't have to.
Sure.
You just hand it over, and he hands it over, but this guy's a little smarter than the average bear. He calls security. Well, not security, he alerts the big man. Alerts the man whose name is on the building. And that man is Ward.
Yes.
So, Gavin Ward. So, Gavin Ward, he's taking care of business with some sort of what I gathered from it, it's basically he's like kind of a smart business. So, again, it's interesting how Ward is in this episode. So, Ward starts out, again, I mentioned this, and it seems to be we're on the money, that Ward's kind of a mix between Lex Luthor and Tony Stark.
I would say that's a good comparison, yeah.
Yeah, of course, a little bit of Linkar in there, but you know what I mean. Just a little. But seriously,
he does like his gadgets, much like Linkara.
Oh, I love my gadgets too.
Indeed.
I love gadgets. Okay, anyway, so it's like when he's on the phone, he's a lot like Lex Luthor, but when he's up and moving, he's a lot like Stark.
Right.
Anyway, so when he's on the phone, it's like he's making a business deal, which sounds like basically aiding in a revolution going on. It sounds like Luthor or business type characters going to say, well, there's a war going on. We'll have it there tomorrow so they can use it. And we'll handle all the little, ins and outs of it later on. And we're going to get them as clients. Of course, we bail them out of a war-like situation, which means we're in the favor and we get more business. Anyway, that business interaction is interrupted by an intruder alert on his screen. I got to tell you, Linkara, Louis Longhaven. Sorry, Love Hog. I've never pronounced that last name. I'm sorry. Sorry, Linkara. I'm sorry, Louis. He has this great look on his face. You see, again, most Luthor moment he's had so far, just he is not pleased.
Yeah, no, he definitely gives it his all in this role, for sure.
Yeah, Ward is not pleased. He really isn't. So, transitioning from that, we awaken in a scary forest.
Ooh. Yeah, Power Kid wakes up, and I kind of like this. This is endearing. The first thought he's worried about the Sloth Master. He's like, is Sloth Master going to be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
It's like, but that's a nice thing about Power Kid. You know, he's always putting other people before himself.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it says, so Power Kid's questioning, well, why are we in like a spooky forest? What's going on here? And she says, well, I watched Conan last night. Now this, I don't know. It said we got kind of a forest in the Dr. Phantasm, but then again, Conan. I think she's talking about like Conan the movie, right?
Conan the Barbarian. I assume.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But, I'm saying, I guess there's forest in that. But
if I'm reading this joke right, then I'm pretty sure Power Kid thinks she's talking about Conan O'Brien.
He does, and that is hilarious.
There's nothing scary in Conan.
Yeah, I thought that was such a cute and hilarious gag. Like, there's nothing scary on Conan. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Actually, that was one of my favorite gags in the episode. Okay, anyway, so I'm just always wondering, like, you have a forest in Phantasm, but we can have various forests.
It could all just kind of blend together for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I'm nitpicking. It's fine.
Yeah.
Points. It's a great payoff for. It's a great setup for a great payoff of the Conan O'Brien joke. Okay, let's see. So what's going on here? So meanwhile. Yeah, so he gives him a hand up, and then as they're about to embark on their journey, we cut to Dark Cop.
Yes.
So Dark Cop is searching for Death's Side, and I kind of like the build here. Dark Cop. I think the reason here, especially by the end, we're going to see this is that Dark Cop is searching for Death's Side. I believe in the to benefit Power Kid.
That makes sense. Yeah, and at this point, Dark Cop's the only one who, out of the students at least, who know his secret, right?
Yes, he is the only he and the deans know.
And the dean, sure.
Only he, Valkyria, and Gothel know. Only those two. And of course, Beatrix.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Obviously. So let's say he's searching for Death's Side, and plus, he is like a top priority case, and he actually also moved Beatrix up to a top priority along with Death's Side, because again, links.
Yeah, so it makes sense that he's spending a lot of effort on him.
Certainly, sir. It makes sense. He's got all the reason in the world to search for this guy, plus he's a big deal.
It would make more sense for him to appear in Dark Cop's head than it would Glyph's head. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, remember, why he appears in...
Well, yeah, of course, we'll get into that. But I'm just saying, like, if it was in Dark Cop's head, it might not be as suspicious.
Right. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Like, if he was in there, and yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Dark Cop spends a lot of time, trying to infiltrate him anyways.
Dark Cop's a guy has a lot of things on his mind. So every villain we've seen so far would be in that world.
And would the punster be his subconscious talking to him?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. It's kind of like, let's just say I'm not going to give too much away here, but let's say in the Arkham Knight game, it's kind of like something similar done in the Arkham Knight game.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like having the punster just kind of going around and kind of giving just commenting on what he's doing, making a lot of puns.
Well, we have established that we hope that the punster is Dark Cop's Joker.
I've heard I've heard that the punster may become Dark Cop's Joker in the future, and that could be awesome. Anyway, so with that though, let me pitch this real quick. I don't know how we get it. I don't know how much of a budget that would be needed for this, but you can have like a whole episode where Dark Cop and Punster like chained together, or like he's trying to arrest the Punster and he has to walk a long distance to do it. And they're walking together like through a city or something. Just like basically Dark Cop is at wit's end of like, I hate this guy so much. I was saying that were like an episode, personally, a subplot in an episode. I think that'd be hilarious. Just like him having to deal with the punster for a whole episode.
That's a classic sort of sitcom situation, like the two characters that hate each other getting chained together somehow.
But also, it's kind of a superhero idea too, because like, there's this great episode of Superboy, Superboy, and Lex Luthor. They're kind of trapped together, and they have to air out their issues with each other.
Nice.
Anyway, so okay, let's see. So again, Dark Cop searching for Death's Side. He can't break through that. He has. I should mention this. Dark Cop throughout this whole episode, he has the best line deliveries he's had in all episodes so far. He really does. I mean, maybe the dictionary lines, that one's hard to do. But seriously,
a small one. You can fit it in your pocket.
This is my favorite performance of Dark Cop so far, because I mean, it's the way he delivers each of these lines. Like, from this point forward, they're all just hysterical, and they're just like, they're delivered such an Adam West delivery of like very seriously, but just like no sense of irony at all with the role. Just he's a break. I'll break through that encryption code eventually. I'll break through that encryption eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best line of the episode happens right after we see Dapper Dan will be the next lead, who found well, maybe not. And he finds Dapper Dan on the computer. He gets a location on him, and then he says, "Now to interrogate a miscreant." just when Dark Cop says something like that, it's like an Adam West style delivery for Dark Cop, and it's so fantastic when it happens.
Exactly.
Just that line to me, I was laughing so hard. Now to interrogate him. He says it with the most conviction in the world that has no idea of, like, this sounds a little silly. Just enough of that. Okay, so back in the...
And speaking of just laughing incredibly hard...
So back in the dream.
This might be the funniest bit that they've done in the entire series so far. Okay, so we have basically a dream version of Dark Cop. Shows up.
They're heading for the light.
Yeah, they're heading for the light.
Then we get a fear projection there.
And if you want to talk about his just dry delivery, I mean, this is just perfect.
Again, you see what I mean, though, with that delivery, though?
Absolutely.
It's delivery, and it's hilarious.
You are very fat.
Again, just
I think he's like almost like half bored saying it.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the most sincerity, but just like I could be doing so many more things right now if I could tell you this obvious fact. You know, just him. It's like him. It's like he's basically saying, "Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you everything that's just painfully obvious, and I'm just going to, it's like Dark Cop just likes it."
You are paler than a polar bear with albinism.
That I thought was the way he says albinism, because it's like albino skin is just it's a professional term, I guess. So it's like albinism, just whiter than a polar bear with albinism. Oh God! All right,
reminds me of white bread. That fell behind a freezer.
Okay, it's just.
It's like these insults just come one after the other.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, basically, what Glyph is kind of saying to Paragon is that, well, he represents, this is a projection of kind of a fear-based projection. It's projecting your self-doubt through Dark Cop. And I think I read into this here. I don't think I'm too off with this. I think the reason it starts off as Dark Cop here, I think the reason is because, think about it. What is something? Why would Power get doubt so? Because if Dark Cop, a guy who he knows his stuff, again, 90% of the time he's right on the money, 90% of the time. And with that, I mean, it's taking that, of course, out of personability and kind of being flawed through that respect. But I'm saying the point is he knows Dark Cop knows his stuff. He knows facts like there's no tomorrow. Sure. But so Dark Cop, Fuzzy's his friend. He respects him. And he knows for a fact that Dark Cop's strong suit is he can determine flaws and faults. Mm-hmm. And he always speaks the truth, and that's Dark Cop to a T. And of course,
that's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
And what's going to get Power?
I mean, you are looking into it, but yeah, this is some good psychology we're getting out of these characters.
And
for sure.
If Dark Cop is, and if Power Kid is doubtful about anything. Of course, if he's doubtful about anything, Dark Cop is the guy to express that to him. That all the doubt he has, it's got to be through Dark Cop's lens. The guy who's going to just tell him the truth. Like, you really aren't. I mean, these are your actual faults, your weaknesses. This is where you again. My friend is telling me this in Power Kid's mind. It's like, this is my friend telling me this, and it hurts a lot. But these are facts. Yeah, but they hurt. And
I've been through that. Yeah.
And Dark Cop would probably be the one to tell him this if you ever had to. You have these issues.
Exactly.
I mean, Dark Cop would probably
It's always a tricky situation. Like, it's never a good feeling, to have your friend be like, "Hey, look, there's this thing wrong with you."
Yes.
But it's like half the time, if you take the opportunity to listen to them, then you could come out a lot better for it. You know
what's
what I
going to
mean?
give you more self-doubt than hearing it from someone you trust, someone that you're
Exactly. That's the bitch of the whole situation.
It's a brilliant idea having Dark Cop be kind of like the first thing, because at first I was questioning it, then I kind of thought about it, like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It would be Dark Cop.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then, so Dark Cop just continues to throw insults. He's like, 9 out of 10 doctors agree. You have terrible body odor.
Yeah,
and then the best one.
Yeah,
the best one. You want to talk about great delivery and a great use of a close-up?
The way he says it. Oh god, that's the way he says that. It's hilarious. Again, you feel bad for Power Kid. I'm like, oh, Power Kid doesn't need this. And you know, plus he's a ghost, so he can't really do anything about it until he kind of learns to kind of mold him a little bit. But,
Exactly.
This is giving him a lot of self-doubt. And of course, what's the best line? What's the second best line of the episode, Tiki? What does Power Kid say in response?
I don't have that in my notes. I'm sorry.
There's like something along the lines of like, darn you, dark ghost cop.
Dark ghost cop.
It's like stupid dark ghost cop. Just the way dark ghost cop. Dark ghost cop, I think, is one of the most hilarious lines the series has uttered. One of the most, it's like in the top 5 of the most hilarious lines. Dark ghost cop.
Okay. But I seriously think that whole
fad
thing is like one of the most hilarious things I've seen.
The delivery of fat. Again, just poor Power. He doesn't deserve any of that, you know. Okay, anyway, so then we see then we have moving back to the action, all great action sequence here, folks. This is a creme de la creme of action scenes here. Here we go. So we got Deaf Side, you know, finishing up with some guards here, and then Ward enters.
Oh yeah. This is. I'm sure Lee Carl loved shooting this scene because he really gets his chance to shine here.
It is pretty much. I mean, he's channeling Stark. This is the most Stark-esque Ward has ever been. And
yeah, exactly.
I mean, so much Tony Stark in the way he's playing this. It's fantastic.
We pay extra for private security.
So yeah, and he has my gadgetry. I love this gadget so much, but God, I love the science and the wear of this gadget. Whoever if we ever get a chance, I want to thank the person who came up with this idea because I think it's such a brilliant idea. Just this gravity conduction gauntlet of sorts.
Right.
I don't know if it's like there's a plural like a gravitic conduction gauntlet or like gravity conduction gauntlet. I think it's great. Basically, it's Wave of the Future, and the pun. It's a pun. It's a hilarious pun because the idea is the way this gadget works, and is why I love it. It said it manipulates gravity so you can use it as like fire. It's like a repulsor mixed with gravity. So instead of shooting a repulsor beam of energy, it shoots waves of gravity to either make things heavy or like repel things.
Thanks. I would have never understood that if you hadn't explained it to me.
Don't harsh my gadget mellow here, Tiki.
I'm sorry.
No, seriously, it's a great.
Just like I get it. It's a pun. It's a wave.
I'm just saying the pun's like a little side note. I'm just saying the way the thing works though is like the way it's used in the action scene to like they push him away. Again, if you're gonna fight a guy like Deaf Side, this is the gadget you want to have. You know, they can affect gravity like a big bruising guy like that. Like push him away, make things drop on his head. It's a brilliant use of that.
If Batman had that, then he would have had to get bailed out by Catwoman in one of the most disappointing deaths ever. Hello?
Yeah, I was just bummed out. Okay. Anyway.
I'm not a fan of Dark Knight Rises.
I like Dark Knight Rises.
I know you do.
Not as much as the other two, but I like it. Okay, so
anyways, let's not do this now.
Yeah, we're not talking about that character's death. We're talking about this character's battle.
Oh, that character went. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so Deaf Side, voiced by wonderful Alex Jeffrey, providing the voice here. He's saying, "Fancy yourself a hero? He says, "No, I'm a venture capitalist."
I love that line. I love that delivery. I'm not a hero. I'm a venture capitalist.
I love he's wearing
That's such a stark line.
The sunglasses are a nice touch, by the way. It's like he's not wearing a costume; he's just wearing sunglasses in this gauntlet. It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he has the best kind of this first act, the first part of this fight, everything goes fantastically for him. He says, "Learn the business hours." He hits him and then he walks away. Learn the business hours. That's such a cool line.
It is, man.
Okay, anyway, so then we see again, practically here with that great little upgrade to the design and the upgrade to Death Side, those nanites really improved his resilience. Like he's not getting punched in the stomach and taken out again. That's not happening.
Oh yeah.
So basically, he just Death Side says he's peeved now. He's going up there and he just kind of matches his force against the gravity gauntlet, and then just like, oh crap, and knocks him out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, so this episode with Ward, I like him a lot more than I initially did. I didn't have anything against him initially. I'm just saying, like, he's much cooler.
Well, I think initially it was more just sort of like, oh, the star power of Linkara, and it was kind of hard to separate that from the actual character. Whereas here, he really gets a chance to shine. He really gets a chance to kind of like dig into a different character. You know what I mean? He really gets a chance to kind of show his acting chops here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's less about Linkara. I think it's more about they have a character who's kind of like supposed to be kind of like the stuck up. But again, he was more Lex Luthor in that interview. But it's like Lex Luthor who thinks he's Tony Stark. That's how he's playing it originally. And here it's just like.
But now it's like you get the feeling that him thinking that it's Tony Stark is almost a bit legitimate.
It is. It's like just seeing it from that was like the one pairing of it. And now we see the flip side of that, and it works. It's like how he balances it. And this balance I thought was like a lot stronger. Not the other one was better. I'm saying it's a different way, and I really like this a lot.
Sure.
I like having I love having the Lex Luthor qualities too. But it's kind of neat to see a balance and him more on the side of likability in terms of like he's supposed to be annoying in not annoying in an interview. But he's supposed to be like kind of like a jerk to an interviewee.
Let me tell you how this is going to go. You're going to answer questions. You're going to ask questions about my technology, and I'm going to answer them for you.
Exactly. He's supposed to be unlikable, and that's how it is. Him doing a good job. Okay, so let's see. Schwarmy, not unlikable, Schwarmy. Not shawarma, but just Schwarmy. Okay, so then we get then this line cracked me. This is like a logic thing. Just Chaotrix walks by. She has after he finishes off Ward, just knocks him out. Chaotrix walks up with the batteries. Okay, here you go, we got it. And then Death Side says, "What took you so long?"
And that right there just kind of speaks to the core of the Chaotrix situation, where it's like she's trying so hard to impress her father, but her father is just like
it's a nebula.
Not receptive towards it at all. And I'm very much feeling the whole like Ronin and Nebula situation. Yeah. I'm very much feeling that kind of thing.
Oh, Thanos and Nebula.
Oh, Thanos and I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ronin's the guy with the hammer.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. Okay, anyway, so but seriously, just the idea. Here's what I love. Here's what I think it's clever about is that Death Side was the one who was delaying them, and he's telling her what took you so long. He was the one who was fooling around.
Right.
He just can't cut her a break.
No, he can't.
Okay, anyway, so meanwhile, Power Kid and Glyph.
So they're still looking for the hill with the light.
And Dark Cop reappears.
Oh God.
So then Power Kid.
The world will look at Power Kid and think, slow down on the pizza.
Pizza rolls. And then essentially Power Kid, he's Glyph saying, well, it's like concentrates. It concentrates and essentially turns Dark Cop
into men dress better than you.
So who is he turned? Oh, you should answer this one. Who does Dark Cop turn into?
Well, first of all, I love how the transformation takes place like mid-insult. So he's like, your mother and father. And then with that, he turns into Starburst. And Starburst is just, in his usual, just jerk self. He's just like, your mother and father are pretty weak as parents, generally.
I gotta tell you though, I think this is like a fan speculation, but I think had Dark Cop gone, he would have had some insight on like the big mystery of what's the deal with Power Kid's mom.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah,
I think we might have got some answers to that had not interrupted. But then again, even with Starburst's comments, it still sounds kind of like within the Dark Cop formation of the insult though. Like just more factual than insulting. But again, it's supposed to be self-doubt, not just insults.
Right.
It's like, hey, you're not. It's like, hey, you're not a Superman. But it's like, yeah, you don't need to be Superman. It's like you don't look like the typical superhero.
So BlueDragonFive, I don't know about you, but I think in 3 episodes, I think we've got Starburst arc pretty much complete right now.
I'm sorry? Well, what do you mean specifically? Well, yeah, what do you mean specifically about Starburst?
I mean, I feel like he's come full circle from, like, the first time we see him, we kind of view him as, like, sort of the popular guy on campus, the cool kid. And now I do feel like with everything that comes and goes down, especially at the end, which we'll get into, we really do see him for what he really is, which is just kind of this shallow loser who's trying way too hard to be accepted.
I think we're on the path. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I think they're on the right path with him. I think like they're calling it on like the thing that would be a mistake if they'd gone just rather than being like the dumb jock-ish.
Exactly.
So I think they're acknowledging that with this, and I think that I'm hoping either the next episode or like at some point, again, hopefully next season, we'll get a bit with.
Please, you do this for season 2.
Try to clarify it since you're doing misapplications.
Ooh!
Yeah, we love our mother.
Fly me over the towers of Metropolis.
Yeah, from the Christopher Reeve episode. Okay, anyway. So what I'm saying is that I think we're like just like an arc away from like full circle Starburst thing of like him like then, but basically we have that established, like calling it on what he's doing, but now we just need like that one element of like the likability to fully complete the circle, just like the element of like why we love it, like the lines, like the whole like I'm gonna milk that ice cube, a bit of that.
So Starburst, he continues his insults, and I like this. He's just like, you're tall, and not in a good way. I just don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like so judgmental. That's like out of all the things that
my favorite one was. I'll tell you my favorite one was. He said, "If you were a drink, you'd be water."
Oh God.
But you know what? You know what? I think we're gonna say something nice to Power Kid here. It's also a fact. I like water.
I do too. I
think we all like water.
Well, you need water to live.
Exactly. We need Power Kid. We do. We need guys. We need heroes like Power Kid in the world. We do.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's see. So then Power Kid, what does he say?
You know what? You're a colossal tool.
Yeah.
Ouch, man.
Well, not yet. Says you're a colossal tool, and man, I felt good. Yeah, I love Power Kid being like, well, happy-go-lucky. You know what? I spoke up for myself, and I feel good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, good for Power Kid. That's a good moment for Power. It's like him saying, you know what? I'm getting rid of this self-doubt. I'm going to own it. I'm saying Dark Cop, it's a little more complex because, he's my friend, and his opinion I trust a lot more and makes things a little difficult. But, Starburst, he's a guy, he's always like kind of giving me the shaft, and I was like, you know what? Starburst, you're not that cool. Essentially, you're a colossal tool. You know that? That's just Power Kid fed up. That's Power Kid, add up to here. Anyways, it's good for Power Kid.
That's kind of like tension that's been brewing since the live stream between the characters.
Exactly. Well, bear in mind, as much as I love that in-character live streams, probably what I kind of knew because Starburst.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Starburst. I think it was one of the most hilarious things about this. That Starburst knows that Power Kid's sister is Chaotrix, and he keeps hitting on her.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so let's see. So what's interrupting the what he says here. So man, that felt good. And then, wait, I thought I got rid of myself. Who are these guys? We see the Dream Slayers. Mm-hmm. Or at least these versions of the Dream Slayers, a little different, a little more, less Dr. Phantasm, more Nightmare.
Right. But I like the design. I like how they tweak the Phantasm design. Oh,
it's cool. It's great. Anyway, so then this bit, I want to read into this bit a little bit. So basically, she says, well, this is my self-doubt, and this whole exercise, again, she didn't, so whenever I said, like, fear projection of Dark Up, that wasn't said explicitly. So basically, Power Kid just thought it was like going on an adventure inside the mind here. That's what he thought. That's what he was prepared for. But apparently, what was said by the teachers, this is a manifestation of your fears.
Mm-hmm.
So
also, I just want to quickly bring up, just because of all the mind stuff going on, I know you're not going to get this, but this episode kind of has a Steven Universe vibe to me a little bit, because Steven Universe, more than once, there's these episodes where it's just trippy, like, oh, let's go inside the mind or the dreamscape of a character or something like that. So, okay, anyways.
Anyway, so here's the moment I really like to read. This one brief moment here. So basically, after like she says, it's a manifestation of my fears or of fears. Then Power Kid has this moment of oh crap. Now, now it could be read two ways. One, it's oh crap because of what he just sees, but I want to think that he's saying oh crap because he realizes in that moment that manifestation of fears, my fear in her head would be Death Side. And not just
exactly.
Death Side with a scythe. Which I gotta tell you, Death Side with a scythe and like a metal gauntlet, that is so cool looking.
It's intimidating as hell. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I kind of wish he had the scythe in real life, but I know it wouldn't fly. But it'd be awesome. I love that. Him with that scythe was such a cool shot. Again, Death Side, the Conqueror, with a scythe. That's amazing.
yes, you gotta have the Conqueror in there.
But see what I mean, though? When he says "oh crap," though, I think it's like it's an "oh crap," basically realizing that, well, if my fears are gonna be manifested along with hers, that's gonna be Death Side, and if she sees Death Side, she might think something's up. Like, why would Death Side, the Conqueror, be here?
Exactly.
In my mind.
Exactly.
And then it's like, well, why is Power Kid afraid of this guy so much? And she looks into it. She finds out. Again, good friends with Glyph. Potential romance. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Still, the point is, I'm saying there might be some mistrust
I
there.
think the seeds have been planted right now.
There could be some mistrust, not necessarily a lie reveal, because she would never need to know that.
Sure.
But something of like a realization and like maybe a bit of hesitation. Like, of course, I think the big question we might get ultimately is like, there might be like an issue raised, like, can we trust him? He's the son of a supervillain. What if? Is this all part of a setup? Like smart questions like that, of course, and they realize in the painfully obvious thing, in a good way, painfully obvious, that he's Power Kid. This guy's.
I really hope that the season doesn't end with like the group of four that we've established just breaking up because of Power Kid.
No, believe me, that won't happen. That can't happen.
That'd be so tragic. I'm like, no, I've come to know these characters, and they must go on with their college antics.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But then again, they can go the completely like 360 approach and kill one of them off.
Oh God, I don't want that to happen either.
I'm saying Corona. I don't know.
No, shut up.
Hey, look, I don't want it to happen, but I'm saying out of all of them who would die, it would be Corona.
You know what? I'm still going with my Starburst super heroic death to redeem himself.
Yeah, well, I'm saying there might they could do the 360 and kill off a character. It's either going to be Starburst or it's going to be Corona.
Oh God, or Colorblind Kyle maybe.
No, not Colorblind Kyle. Don't say that.
Okay.
Seriously, don't say Colorblind Kyle.
Well, you don't say Corona then.
Hey, I don't want to say Corona, but the facts are pointing to Corona. Okay, I love Corona. I don't want her to go, but I mean, she has the most to lose. I mean, she has, she has the most reasons for dying.
Sure.
Again, let's see. So Death Side with a scythe appears, and it's freaking awesome. A sword is conjured. Glyph conjures a sword, and then they got a big old battle happening here. And Power Kid does not have a sword, but he's battling Death Side. And oh boy, now as much as we do praise these episodes, and because there's a lot of great stuff, and I gotta tell you, I do have some gripes with this scene though.
Okay.
Minor gripes, but still gripes nonetheless. I think it should be addressed. That much I do love this idea. The idea here is brilliant. Okay, so you got Glyph fighting her inner demons. You got Power Kid fighting his inner demon, which of course is his father.
Right.
Now, the fight's really cool. The choreography, everything is fantastic with this fight. Again, him with the scythe, really cool. Power Kid without the scythe, without the kind of instrument of death. Good stuff. But you got two gripes here. One big one. I wish there were like a few cutting lines of doubt to Power Kid. Again, if it's like a manifestation of fear, like Death Side does not say a word to Power Kid except like, "Don't be afraid to fight me."
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he says that. I think he says something close to that. That's the thing. If there were like a few more, like just to drive home that why he fears this guy. I think that's a missed opportunity.
I don't really see it that way. I think that I think Death's side, you know, the whole don't be afraid to fight. I think that's enough.
I don't even know if he says that. I think it's just something close to that. I don't know if it's like.
Well, yeah, we might be paraphrasing a little bit, but he is like, you know.
It goes by real quick. It's like there's not a moment.
It does go by a little quick. You're right.
That's the thing. It's like not either. Like take that moment, linger, like let it linger, just let it sink in. Like you don't really see Power Kid like aside from just the physical threat of this guy, like no emotional threat exactly. Which I think that's the greater battle. But you know, again, it's a minor gripe, but I think again the action scene, the idea of this whole thing is brilliant. This little fight here. So again, it's pretty much a great episode. You got like 2 gripes. That's one of them. Second one's very minor in comparison to the first one. Okay, anyway, so as the fight goes on, basically the ending of the fight between Power Kid and Death's side here, I got an issue, a minor issue. So as Power Kid's death, I got an issue with that.
Okay.
The way it's shot, the way Power Kid dies, it's one of those shots where when the other guys you killed off, it looks a lot better because it's like they get like cut from the front with the swords. You know, you don't need to see all the gruesomeness and everything. It's just basically you hear a slice and the guys are like back is to the camera and they'll slice, and they go down. That's fine because you can assume bad stuff happened on the front of them and then they're dead. That's fine. Power Kid, however, he was turned around when that happened. So basically, you visually see there was no mark, nothing whatsoever that happens to him. So why did he die?
And it's a dream, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why it's a minor. That's why it's a minor grade. It's all a dream.
Right.
I was thinking like could have been kind of cooler, like if they just like panned the camera down a little bit. It's like basically implied that maybe he's got decapitated.
I mean, that could just be budget issues, you know what I mean?
Again, I don't want to harp on that. I think it's like maybe worth pointing out, like just saying it's like,
I didn't really have that.
I think the reason they didn't do that is because, if not just for budget reasons, I think it's because it may have been too dark just to make the death too gruesome. Because we don't want to see Power Kid killed in a gruesome manner.
No, of course not. Of course not.
It's like seeing like a close up of like a handle or something going into him. I don't know. But again, I'm nitpicking, but I do think maybe like a little more emotion in the fight would have been a little cooler. You know, it's like a whole like, you know, you're my son, and like you're a disappointment, something.
It could be, yeah. It could have been more like a Darth Vader style fight. Yeah,
you know, like the whole Luke versus in like the host nation, not the host nation, but you know the Dagobah swamp battle. Like, you know, like you are your father. Ooh.
Sure. Ooh, symbolism. Ooh.
But again, look, those are minor things. Again, doesn't really hurt the episode at all, but we might have plussed it a little bit more. That's all I'm saying.
I remember when I was a kid and I saw that scene in Star Wars, it confused the shit out of me because I literally thought that Luke was Darth Vader.
Really?
Yes. Because I was like, keep in mind, I was like 6 years old when I saw it in theaters because I saw the special editions. And so I was just like, wait, what? I thought he was fighting Darth Vader.
Well, again, just not a mark against the episode, just saying they could have plussed it, you know?
Exactly.
That's all. Again, moving on. So then Power Kid, he gets killed off, and then he wakes up, and we have kind of an Inception math going on here of like, how long was I at? He asked Slothmaster. And by the way, first of all, Slothmaster, I love his costume because I love how he works those claws so much. The way he works those claws, it's always delightful. It's like I love him using like the tap phone too, like the touch screen phone. Like taps it, you know. It's like just 1 minute.
And then Power Kid asks if there's any way he can get back in. And then I love this bit. He's like very, very slowly flipping through a book, very slowly.
By the way, I love it's such a high intensity question too. Of like Power Kid's like, come on. Right.
You
know, it's like I gotta save her. I said, well, I'm looking, I'm thinking.
And then he takes a sip of Crimson Toro, like so. And I love this. When he takes a sip, you can just see his eyes just kind of bulge just a little bit. And then he's like, no.
How long will it take him without the sip?
Oh, God.
Maybe that's where the other, what was it, like usually, you know, I said 20, so this is 17. Maybe that's where the other 3 minutes of the episode went. Like this. So let's get this and drink the things so we can save 3 minutes.
Right.
That's it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we got Glyph. Okay, so we got Glyph, and then she sees projection of Power Kid.
Basically, a Force ghost.
Exactly. Well, again, so Dark House of Force Ghosts, Arbor's was a Force Ghost.
Well, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Though, I do like now a few things of this. So again, so he says that line he said before. Focus on focus on the important stuff, advice, and then figure out the rest later. First of all, confident Power Kid. I want to say this is a foreshadow of Power Kid for the future. At least you kind of hope that.
Yeah.
Power Kid. Well, I hope it's foreshadowing for two reasons. One, because he's a confident Power Kid. We root for this guy. We want good things to happen to him. And secondly, with the costume, I think there's some good foreshadowing for a costume, because I heard back in the live stream days that they said they're going to be upgrading Power Kid's costume periodically. So I don't know if next episode we're going to get that or not, or down the line we're going to get that. But with an upgrade of the costume, I would hope that it would incorporate a hood of some kind. And I think it looks good with the hood up when he's eating the banana. I think the hood up looks really good. I think that could be a good foreshadow for a costume change. Like whatever he's going to do next, he's going to have a hood and that mask. That's what you need. You need the hood and the mask.
Sure.
Yeah, because that's what he is at his core. The hoodie and the mask, and that's all he needs. And the symbol too, but Okay, so again, confident projection gives some advice. Glyph, she's all, basically, just take him down. You can do it.
Yeah.
She does a really cool fight. Again, fantastic fight choreography. Absolutely.
Yeah, really good choreography.
Those swords,
too.
Those swords look really real. I'm sure it's like a metal thing. Of course, sometimes you have to stop right before you hit them. I mean, I don't know how they did, but it looked great. Also, I love the realistic touch, kind of a Daredevil-y touch almost.
Oh dear.
Kind of like a bit of a, like she's tired after the fight. It's like the Netflix Daredevil show whenever he fought.
Daredevil perfected that whole idea.
They did. But still, it's kind of neat to see that address. You're like, man, that was exhausting.
Sure.
Again, she sees a light in the cave, which again, good set by which like this forest set.
And this also reminds me of the whole Dagobah cave as well.
Yeah, I don't know where they're finding these sets. It's a really good place to find the set. It really worked for them. I don't know how many different parks. There was just the same one they found. I assume it's at least two. That's a guess. So she gets in the cave and please don't be a trap. Please don't be a trap. Please don't be Akbar.
It's a trap.
She touches the light, wakes up, victory, yeah!
Huzzah!
Yeah! Ice cream! I'm kidding about the ice cream. So basically, she thanks all around. Oh, thanks, Sloth Master, for sticking around. Thanks, Power Kid.
Welcome back.
Love it when he says welcome back. Thank you for remembering that. Let's see, she
thanks Power Kid for the motivation.
Yeah, and then it's interesting. Power Kid brings up he's not telling her about Death Side by saying, well, when that guy showed up, he's just not saying by name because he's pretending he's playing dumb. When that guy showed up and I was out of there. He killed me and I was out of there. He says, oh well, thanks anyway. And again, nice little moment between these two. It says, they're good pals or more.
And do you want to talk about the shipping implications behind all this?
Well, I mean, that's the only shipping implication we talked about, right?
Well, I'm just saying, just the whole idea of Power Kid kind of showing up as like a positive Force Ghost with Glyph. Yeah. It really goes to show you that she cares about him deeply. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're too far off the cliff. Do you?
I don't think we are. I think out of all the combinations we've come up with, this one might be the most realistic to actually happen.
That's the thing, though. The thing is, I think they're going to Kim Possible, and what that means is they can do both. It's like right now they're good pals, and you don't need them to change for anything in the world. But you can, if you want to. That's eventually what Kim Possible went. They got together. It's saying you can have both. So it works both ways, and they're good friends. Whoever they do is like they can keep them friends, or they move them next level. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. Anyway, I don't think we're going to see that this season, but in the future, perhaps, if they do anything like that. Again, hopefully. So, also, we have this hilarious bit again. You know how much I love those claws on Sloth Master's costume, and the group hug, and then just the pointing out, like, ow, they're both going out.
Claws.
That's like that to me is the third funniest part of the episode.
But I love how enthusiastic Sloth Master is about getting on that hug.
Yeah, good old Sloth. Again, if it's not like Kyle, it's got to be Sloth Master. Okay, so then I want to hear the character I'm sure you like.
Oh yes.
We got Dapper Dan, and you know me, I love my mundane. There's tons of mundanity in this scene. Sure. Dapper Dan reading the book. Mm-hmm. I gotta wonder if he brought that book or if it was in the guy's house. Wonder. Okay, anyway, so Dapper I'm gonna put this question out there. Hopefully, someone may know if they have any insight. What book is that Dapper Dan's reading? I'm gonna leave that out. They'll let that linger. Maybe we'll get an answer to that. So, anyway, so as Dapper Dan's reading, there was a window. There was a crash at the window, and then who appears?
Dark Cop.
Yeah. Prepare to be interrogated, miscreant. Whenever he says,
he really loves that word.
Whenever he says, again, it's like whenever he says miscreant, it's gold. It's absolutely. I love this.
Take a seat, Dark Cop. I choose to stand.
I got another. This is a very minor thing, but it's like I love when he snatches the book away from Dapper Dan. So basically, Dapper Dan's saying, "Well, what makes you think I know anything? Everything." And basically, saying along the lines of like, I base on everything in the world because I know you know something. He grabs the book. I love when he snatches the book away from him. I love that. And then there's a moment I'm mixed on. It's like a subjective comedy. That it's like I see what's funny, but I don't think we need it. It's like he tries to rip the book and it doesn't.
I thought it was funny. I laughed.
I think the other gags are more hilarious than this.
I think the gag of this whole thing is like we see Dark Cop in action as an interrogator. And we see, like, even though he does get results, he is a little sloppy with his execution.
That's a thing. Yeah, that's why it's, like, not a bad thing. It's just, like, it's not my taste, this one. It's, like, it's a little too on the nose. Like, he needed to rip the book to prove a point. But I don't know.
Did he need to punch the punster 1,000,000 times to prove a point?
I think that's fair. Also, let's not destroy books. Let's celebrate books. Come on.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
No, books are nice. Books are our friends.
Books are nice. BlueDragonFive, 2015.
Again, I'm oversimplifying that. Point is, again, the book thing is subjective. I'm not too crazy about it, but it's fine. It makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's Dark Cop's character. It makes sense. So what I'm saying is the reason I point that out is because he kind of takes the teeth out of the really awesome stuff Dark Cop does in the scene. Because
it does, but it also isn't the only sloppy thing that he does in the scene either.
It's like the other sloppy stuff I think works a lot better than that, but that's just against me. The point is, I love the next bit is really fantastically awesome. So again, the shot, it's so well shot. This I think out of all the scenes in the episode, this scene in particular is the best shot. It's the best cinematography in the whole episode is within this scene. So it's first of all, it's just a really nice closed off scene. Really good spacing within the house, doing Dark Cop and doing Dapper Dan, all the shots, all the lookups, all the close-ups, really good stuff. Again, seeing Dark Cop's mask and everything. So basically, the Dapper Dan, again, a swordsman. He always hides that sword within his cane and stuff. It's really cool. The point is, he pulls out that sword. Oh, fencing is cool, by the way. I won't make that clear.
Of course it is, obviously.
Fencing is rarely not cool. Rarely is it not cool. So
I think in Die Another Day it wasn't cool.
That's what I'm saying. But even that, it had gone on shorter.
You know what? Even that was probably the best scene of that movie.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like they just trimmed it. It would have been better.
Right.
The point is, so as Dapper Dan's like about to pull out, he pulls out the sword. He's about to cut Dark Cop to ribbons. Dark Cop, he blocks it somehow, and then he has this great line. I love this shot. This fantastic shot. It's like close up on Dark Cop, like right after he blocked the move, and it's like you're panning up on him.
It's kind of classic Batman.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're giving, in a way, it's like Dark Cop is not Batman, but he's like Batman. He has like all the best. It's like when Batman was in the Justice League cartoon, he would have all the best moments of the episode. But I think Dark Cop has they give him kind of like a standard Dark Cop moment of awesomeness per episode. And here, so Dark Cop's moment of awesomeness is
the blinding moment of awesome, perhaps?
Not the blinding moment of awesome. That's different. It's very different.
I know.
That's like on a scale that can't be measured. This is just it's Dark Cop's own thing. It's like always in the cool part. It's like the obligatory Dark Cop is awesome moment.
Well, that sounds a lot. Okay.
I don't want to make it sound negative, but he always has to have a cool moment because he's cool. It's a cool idea for a character. Anyway, so he has this great moment. He says, "Fighting back is ill-advised." Fighting back would be ill-advised. And again, it's such a great shot. And then basically, it's kind of neat. This is like them pointing. It's almost like a Syndrome-esque, like, you got me monologuing, like moment of Dark Cop. Again, this is interesting, showing you that he's not Batman, and because Batman wouldn't do this sort of thing. He's over-explaining things.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, like, I forget what he's saying. He's like, I found you, and like, and he says, I studied your. Again, sound explanation. I love the explanation, but not right now. it's Dark Cop saying, you and your fencing moves. I've studied you and Paragon's fight you and Paragon based on security tape. And the Dapper Dan just interrupts him by kicking him.
Also, speaking of Dapper Dan, I just want to point out, today is actually Dapper Day at Disneyland.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is essentially a day once a year at Disneyland where people like dress up in basically like 19th century like Main Street USA style wear. So yeah, talking about Dapper Dan on Dapper Day. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
But yeah, you see what I mean? Though it's like it's a sound explanation for what Dark Cop would do. He would study that fight, and that's why he's doing so well with Dapper Dan right now. But he doesn't need to tell Dapper Dan all this, and because of that, he gets kicked around and then like taken off his game for a moment. But again, awesomely. Getting into a fight with Dapper Dan, again, looks really cool. Dapper Dan's no slouch when it comes to fighting. You saw how he did against Power. He did really good against Power until he got knocked out into a box of packing peanuts. First of all, the two moves in particular. I love when Dark Cop like punches him in the side. That's such a cool move. I haven't seen that kind of move since Punisher Warzone, really. Like when you get really punch a guy in the side like that. Really impressive.
I still need to see that movie.
Yeah. So he punches him in the side, gets him off his game, like he puts the hand, like he puts the arm up, and now I hear there's a sound effect that sounds like he electrifies him. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, yeah.
It sounds like he electrifies him. Yeah, it's kind of neat. We don't need to see everything, but it sounds like he electrifies him, which also pluses the scene a little bit. Electrifies him and like holds the arm in like an arm break position to get some information, and then he says, like interesting, just like I love a Dapper Dan saying, "Well, I did not expect that. Interesting." Just taking a moment to acknowledge it. Interesting. Okay, I don't know where they are, but and then Dark Cop just not having any, like knocking him around a little bit, knocking him on the floor, and interrogates him. And I love this is Dark Cop. This is what he should have led with. This is how you interrogate. This is like Dark Cop's specific non-Batman like interrogation method. It's really cool. He says, essentially give me the information or I dig into your affairs. And I'm very skilled with bureaucracy. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like Burglar. That's like Constantine. Bureaucracy. Okay, there it goes. I'm very skilled with bureaucracy. It's a cool line. Do you see what I mean, though?
It is. Yes. And I also feel like that's a thing that Batman should use more often instead of just the whole, like, punch people in the face.
So, like, Batman at times, you're going to see, well, in the animated he has these moments where, like, he'll say, like, he's talking to a mobster, and he says, like the mobster says, well, you won't lean on us. If I tell you this, you're going to lay off us. And she says, no, essentially saying, no, here's what I'm going to do. You tell me this, or I'm going to lean on you north, south, east, and west. Basically saying, I'm going to like look at you closely. You won't be able to take a step or breathe without me down your neck. That sort of stuff.
Right.
Basically, it's kind of like that sort of method. But of course, Dark Cop makes it his own by having that great line about bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy.
It's been a long day. Give me a break.
You think you've had a long day?
I know you win. Don't rub it in. Anyway.
Okay. Anyways.
Moving on. So then says, okay, lay off the silk. So, I love Dapper Dan. He loves looking dapper. That's his shtick. So he says, okay, there's a warehouse, and by the time he finishes saying there's a warehouse, then he pulls a bat. And I love this. Again, the tweak on the Batman moment here. He disappears mid-sentence, which you know me. I love my Batman Gordon scenes, and when he does that, it's always a win for me.
And he's gone.
And then we hear a crash. Darn it!
Ah, damn it!
Yeah, it works so. And I love when he came into the scene, he's trying to like get some residual glass off his costume when he broke through.
Right.
Like Batman, he picks the lock of the window and like lifts it and then disappears real quickly. But no, Dapper. Dapper Dan in this house, he's going to have to answer some things. Well, then again, he's not going to because we found the residence is otherwise occupied.
I also like the idea that as soon as Darkhawk hears about the warehouse, that's enough information.
Yeah, Darkhawk's smart enough to put the pieces together. Okay, warehouse, got it. It's like something, he said something warehouse, but you know.
Right.
And he's disappeared. Just love Dapper Dan kind of pulling a Jim Gordon line here saying, and he disappeared.
Also, I doubt this is the case, but I would love to think it's also kind of a sly little commentary on the fact that every villain in Gotham uses a fucking warehouse.
Yeah, I think it's not just Gotham, but mostly, usually Gotham. I'm saying Gotham's the most famous just because we always look at Gotham before any other city. Come on.
Right.
I'm saying, what's the most historic comic city you can think of? I think you're going to go for Gotham over Metropolis. Am I right?
I would go. I think Gotham definitely has a more defined, like,
exactly.
A more defined layout to it than Metropolis does.
Metropolis is cool, but Metropolis is...
I feel like Metropolis, the depictions of Metropolis that we've gotten over the years have been more abstract.
Yeah.
Whereas Gotham, we've been meticulously trying to make it into like a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but anyway, so, the warehouse thing, it is common, like, it's always a warehouse. That is an actual thing. It's not just Gotham, but it's, like, all over the place in superheroes. Like, they always go to a warehouse. Yeah, you know why it's a warehouse? Because that's the great simple set you need. It's like a lot of copious space. You
Exactly.
People. It's a perfect set.
Of course, Who Framed Roger Rabbit used the warehouse finale to great effect.
Yes, of course, certainly. Anyway, so
remember this voice, Eddie? Remember when I killed your brother?
I talk just like this. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so then and my pride and joy calls.
Yep. Oh god.
Okay, I'm not gonna get mushy on this one, but the fracture.
Please don't.
All right. Right. Point is, Fracture calls this awesome character Fracture, and I do mean he is a really cool character. I love how Max Savage plays this guy.
No, if someone else would have come up with him, he'd just be shit.
No, but seriously,
since you came up with him, he's awesome. No, I'm just kidding.
Again, I don't know. Technically, it's not possible if I didn't bring up this guy. I'm not trying to be facetious. That's actually, if I didn't bring up the guy, I don't think he'd be in the series. They might have a character like him. I don't know. That's
what I'm saying. If there was a character that was like him, but you didn't come up with it, it'd be like it wouldn't be worth our time. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, someone else came up with Slothmaster after all. Come on. If you're proud of this guy, just think of how proud the guy who came up with Slothmaster.
I really want to say someone came up with him in the in one of the in the first character creation, but I don't know.
Yeah, the guys confirmed it for us in the comments.
Oh, he has.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I remember we got some characters wrong. We addressed it when possible. Okay, I just want to make sure. Sometimes those things go on for long. Basically, a ton of characters are created, and basically it's
right. Yeah.
Never mind. They go on for a few hours, especially trying to watch a few of these. Just to refresh it in your mind, because you have to go to the end, and you don't really have like a direct timestamp to what happened when. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so.
But hey, I mean, if anyone can relate to doing really long podcasts, it's the two of us right here.
Oh, of course. Okay. Anyway, so
Freakazoid podcast. And that was like one of the first things we recorded together at that.
Freakazoid is fantastic. Okay, so Fracture calls.
Indeed.
First of all, when Fracture was revealed, I was happy with that. Not just because that's just because I came up with the guy. Bear in mind, I barely came. I threw a concept, a suggestion out there.
I know.
They ran with it. They did something fantastic, and I gotta tell you, they got the perfect guy for it. He's exactly what I pictured for the guy. Again, it's a magical thing. Exactly what I thought of this guy was put on screen. I had no input on what he looked like. I just described what he'd do. Anyway, so the point is, Fracture calls, and one of my favorite bits of the whole episode, again, not just because I created him, but I love...
All right, you can quit confirming that now. We get it.
Okay. That's the last time. But I love that he's painting during this call. So I love my mundanity, and I love the fact that Fracture, he can talk on the phone, and at the same time, he can paint. I'm going to assume he can paint well.
I would assume so.
I'm going to safely assume he's good at painting. And of course, he says he calls Dapper Dan and asks, "Did he take the bait?" He says, "I'm pretty sure." He says, "Pretty sure." He says, "You're a perfectionist, and Well, that's basically the price of being perfection. Something along those lines. Then Fracture has a really great line. He says, "Perfection is a foolish ideal." Now, what I think behind that line, I'm just speculating here. What I think there might be something behind the line of like Fracture. I imagine is a character that maybe gave up on perfection. Just realized the world is full of again. He sees the weaknesses. He sees like how things are made up, and he just sees like, well, looking for perfection is pointless because no one around me is perfect. We live in an imperfect world, so I'm going to capitalize on those imperfections and be the perfect guy in the room.
Could be.
Can go to, and I think that might be like behind that line. Again, it's a foolish idea. I tried to be perfect, and maybe again, for all I know, I'm just randomly speculating backstory here that he tried to be perfect, and that maybe drove him crazy, and that's why he saw mistakes, and he strived to be perfect. But maybe he thought it was a foolish ideal himself.
Right.
Through his own mistakes in the past. I'm just off the top of my head speculating. Anyway, so he's asking, like, how's the place? Is the place still in one piece? Well, it's messed up a little bit. Well, thankfully, it's not my house.
Oh boy. Here we have something a little twisted.
Yeah, actually, I believe this is a relative of one of the directors. This is a relative of Ben Lifson's. I want to say father.
Is it? Okay.
Like my guess is father. I think it's like Alan Lifson. I think that's the name of the credits. So maybe father, maybe uncle. I don't know. This point is Mr. Lifson here, not director. Mr. Lifson here is tied up the resident of this house, and he's bound and gagged. And one of my favorite touches is he's using him as a hat rack. He's using the guy to hold his damn hat, and he basically, as he's talking on the phone, takes it and says, "Thank you." He's like taking a hat to him. And then pretty much saying like, let's see what's happening on the phone. Oh yeah, there's work to do, and I are you sure about that? I insist. Pretty much saying there's work to do. I insist. End of the call. Pretty much saying, okay. So apparently, the whole point of this Fracture call is to cement the idea that Fracture's pulling some strings here. So I'm guessing that Fracture. My guess is that Fracture has been contacted by Death Side to lead Dark out there and potentially to lure Power Kid there ultimately.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That is my hunch. Because again, Fracture, as it's been established in the first episode, he
kind of a free agent.
Yeah, free agent. He's the broker of information and things. He sets things up.
Sure.
I'm thinking he's setting these things.
And things.
Yeah. And things. Walt Disneyisms. Okay, so.
Now, Santa, are you rushing or are you dragging? I know.
Okay, so the point is, there's work to do, and I insist he's got plans. As a basket, he asks the homeowner if he can borrow his car, and he's nodding nicely.
Yeah, he is nodding nicely.
No, he's nodding because he doesn't want to tick this guy off because he has a freaking sword. He could run me through.
Right.
And he bound and gagged me all of a sudden. It's like, for all we know, there's like a short that could be attached to this episode. There's like a Clockwork Orange level home invasion story we're not seeing here. For all we know.
Is he singing in the rain?
I don't see why not. He's a dapper chap. Yeah, maybe.
Or he's singing like a barbershop quartet song.
Or maybe he's singing Zippity Doo Dah.
Oh God.
Zippity Doo Dahs, and as he's singing, like, he's bursting through the doors real creepily. Zippity Doo Dah, bang, zippity, with a battery ram or something. I don't know. Anyway, so but
you've got a friend in me.
Okay, let's.
You've got a friend in me.
All right, let's not do that.
All right.
But, seriously though, this shot, I love the shots here. It was like looking down, looking up from that perspective. They got some really great cinematography, and this whole scene with that ending there too. It's like looking down and up from the closet.
Sure.
Okay, so then we get Madame A, I believe. Her name is Madame A is giving the grades out, kind of examining the results, and Glyph passes, doing a little hand thing with the head, saying, okay, she passes, yeah, very good. Then the Tin Knight shows up. What does the Tin Knight do, Tiki? Tell us what the Tin Knight does.
Well, he essentially just starts spazzing out.
Well, no, he does the chicken dance.
Oh, right.
Well, maybe not chicken dance, but he acts like a chicken. That's funny. It says, well, you did not so good.
Amusing, but no points.
Yeah. Oh, poor Tin Knight. I think he
tried.
Oh,
man, I felt so. I mean, come on, give him some credit. Give him a D.
I mean, it is a hard class,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, you know what? This is gonna go right back to like my college experiences, but I wrote this one essay, and I'll try not to spend time on this, but
right.
I wrote this one essay this one time that was for like a really hard English class. And because the assignment, I didn't follow the assignment exactly how the teacher laid it out. Like I had a couple of deviations from what I was supposed to be writing about. Basically, I was concentrating on one part of the Middle East, and I was supposed to be concentrating on the Middle East as a whole. The teacher gives me an F for that paper because I was supposed to be concentrating on the Middle East as a whole, and instead I did an essay on the riots that were going on in Egypt. And he gives me an F. I'm like, dude, like give me a fucking C-. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time on that paper.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry. But props to Super Academy because they are kind of very accurately giving me some reliving of my own college experiences, which I'm still going through at the moment.
He's having flashbacks, folks. I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, you know, in my heart of hearts, I'd like to think Tin Knight, he went through his own experience like Glyph did, but he just didn't fare so well. Says, well, you know,
right.
I tried. Maybe it'll go well. I don't know. I'm going to assume maybe chickens were involved in his his journey somehow.
Maybe he tried to contact Gonzo about it.
Maybe he's really deathly afraid of chickens. Maybe that's it. And of course, a knight being chicken. That's the pun.
Yeah.
That's a tin chicken there.
Also, might I just say, he looks a lot like the freaking Black Knight from Monty Python.
Looks a bit like the Black Knight. Yeah, it looks a bit like that.
It is merely a flesh wound.
Yeah. The armor is probably not comfortable for that actor. You know, plus he has to do little chicken movements and everything. Oh, the cumbersomeness. Okay, so then we got lunch again. So
kind of bookend setting for the episode, I think.
Yeah, really. No, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's really good kind of bookend setting. So we got a really great line here by Corona. It's delivered so well. Again, the actress for Corona. Fantastic, a perfect fit for that character. You know,
my brain is so proud of your guys' brains.
That is adorable. That is you want to put that on a greeting card. You know, that's like a congratulatory.
My brain is proud of your brain.
That's what you want. Even better than the graduation cards. That's what like an elementary school teacher would have on stickers to give the students. You know, it's like my brain's so proud of your brains. That's so adorable. Okay, anyway, so. Then, you know, as they're talking, you're just talking about the experience. Parakeet brings up, you know, I prefer not to get killed or real or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid request.
You know, like I'm sure in Inception, they didn't really like getting killed. If
oh god,
get out of the dream or not. You know, again, you're being stabbed by Marion Cotillard. It's not really pleasant.
That was the freakiest scene in that movie for me.
Yeah, that was really creepy.
She just came like out of nowhere.
Remember they attacked him like antibodies, so that was like the capture couldn't get through there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's
and then in the next scene in Inception, we see this.
Okay. It's a brief Inception homage. Okay. So then a question about Deathside. So why was Deathside the conqueror there? And then Powerkid quickly distracts.
Oh yeah.
Hey, have you guys seen Dark Out? Now this line perplexes me very much so, Tiki. I'm just really curious about how it's going to fit into the next. I don't even know how it's going to fit into the next episode. It's kind of. So they answer like where they last saw Dark Ops, so Glyph and the Corona. Apparently, they think he was looking for a girl with like a sparkly thing around kind of a mask area. Like I don't know what they're pointing to, like around the face, like cheek or mask or something. So at first I was thinking maybe Chaotrix, but I looked at her. I didn't think. I for the strangest reason.
Chaotrix, yeah.
For the strangest reason, I thought. I could be thinking back to the pilot, but I didn't get to check the pilot. I checked like the Meet the Hero segment. I could have sworn he has like a little star or something on her, like a star-like thing on her cheek or something.
Mm-hmm.
A little glittery star. I don't know. I could be wrong. It might be Chaotrix. I don't think it is of what I looked at, but it's either Chaotrix makes the most sense. And again, Darkotrix. But point is, he's looking for a girl that somehow was a lead to what he was looking for. So I don't know.
Right.
Either that or he's looking for Chaotrix. I don't know. Okay, meanwhile, so then Starburst stops by. Tell us what happens.
Oh boy. So Starburst sits down. Sup, ladies? Power crabs.
Yeah, so does he say crabs or craps?
I thought he said crabs.
I thought he said crabs too. I realized I could not. I looked for the little like CC, the captions thing is always a little off. Mm-hmm. So hoping to get an explanation. There was no captions thing quite yet. Yeah, I guess eventually it'll be there. But Nothing. Just I don't know if it was crabs or crabs. So either way, it's kind of funny. I think crabs is meaner.
So everyone stands up, and Starburst is just like. He's just like, whoa, man, whoa, come on, I'm just joking around.
And of course, the great thing with this is that it follows how Glyph feels about Power Kid. Because, Corona just doesn't get Power Kid. I'm sorry, not Power Kid, sorry. Glyph, it's like Corona doesn't quite get Starburst. But, Glyph just knows how she feels about Starburst. Like, she doesn't like him instantly. Like, Mary opened the door in the sombrero. It's like, oh.
And I'm done.
And I'm done. Like, the minute he says something mean to Power King, and she likes Power King, Power King's her friend, and she just slams the book shut, and she gets up like, I'm out of here. I can't stand for this. I'm out of here. And I'm done. That's her mentality there. And Corona, she can pick up on the vibe. Man, this Starburst guy is really unpleasant. We don't like him.
Yeah, right.
And then of course Corona, she does something I did not expect her to do, and I was really happy she did. So Starburst easy stand up. Anyways, Power Kid, I love that Power Kid sitting down, yet he holds all the power in the scene. He says, what does he say, Tiki?
You're a colossal tool.
Yeah.
Then Starburst, he's just so taken aback by this.
Yeah, Starburst, he's had this coming for a while now.
Oh God, yes.
Since the first episode, he's had this coming.
I think since the whole I saved the day yesterday.
Well, yes, probably since the pilot actually. So
right.
This coming. This is the Starburst moment of humblement before he evolves as a character.
Exactly.
This is like, don't get wrong. So far, they're on the right track. I'm just hoping.
This is a big piece of literary structure right here.
Yeah. So Starburst here is just taking it back. Wow. That's so uncool of you. And again, he's still
cool of you, man.
So again, Starburst is still so opinionated, thinking he's in the absolute right.
right, exactly.
Calling him power crabs. So, and then I love this is the realization, this kind of little line in between Glyph and Power Kid. Oh man, it's really different out here, isn't it? Yep. And not Lois. Power Kid, nice soul. He says he's sorry. Starburst, I'm sorry.
Power Kid doesn't want conflict with anyone. He really doesn't.
Yeah, just he would. Part of him would like to be friends with Starburst, but Starburst just never gives him the time of day, and always just kind of writes him off. It's like, that guy. There's nothing interesting about that guy. He's Emmett from the Lego Movie. I don't want to be with that guy.
Emmett from the Lego Movie is awesome. Shut up, Starburst. He's Star-Lord, for God's sake.
It's like how everyone felt about Emmett in the beginning at the council meeting of the Lego Movie. Remember?
Right.
None of them were crazy about him.
Lincoln takes off.
Lincoln, you come back here in your floating rocket chair. Anyway, so then Starburst says, "Well, you should be." He says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then you should be. And then he took it a step too far. That Starburst there, that guy. And then Corona is saying, "I didn't expect it. I was really pleased." Corona, she's learning a lot about Earth culture.
Yeah,
she's sticking up for her friends in the way she should. She dumps. I mean, a little messy, but still, she sticks up for herself. She dumps the tray. Again, we're just gonna say tater tots because that's the word of the episode. She dumps the tater tots. She dumps like a plate of tater tots from Starburst, coating his costume, I guess, old tater tot particles. Anyway, so
you are a tool.
Yeah, dumps the whole thing. Yeah, you are a tool. I love hearing Corona say that. By the way, yeah, good for Corona. And then Glyph hits him with the book, and judging from what it looks like she hits him below the belt.
I want to say it's right above the belt, in the belt area.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it would have had more of a reaction if it was below the belt. I'm just saying it's in that ambiguous area though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like in the animated series, they couldn't kick a guy below the belt in the animated series of Batman, but like Joker, he kicked in the stomach, but he'd still have the high pitched.
Right, yeah.
It's like get her. Just okay. Anyway, so let's see. So then after done with the food, and I hit him with the book. I just love seeing Starburst on the ground with his feet up in the air, just trying to find his bearings. So I get the credits, and I'm sure, again, I don't want to just be that guy's poking holes in everything, but I got to point out in case they don't know about it, but they probably know because they get to look at it painstakingly. The guys who are making this, there's an issue with the credits. There's a technical issue with the credits. Again, you might know that. This might be just point out the obvious, but
that's the technical issue.
Yeah, the credits are off. So basically,
are they?
Yeah, and the credits, the top half of the first thing of our main four guys, Those are right. On the I believe the right side we got the characters. On one side you have all the characters, on one side you have the actors playing those characters. Below it though, and going forward with the rest of the pages of credits, they go sporadically left and right. So on one side it's uneven.
I'm checking this out.
So you have I'm trying to remember Alex Jeffrey as voice of Death Side, and then the actress who plays Chaotrix instead of Chaotrix, along with Death Side, voice of Death Side.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I mean, it's friendly. It's really good in case it's something that's just you don't know, but I assume you do know. So I don't want to just be the guy pointing out I don't want to be douchey McNitpick. All right, I don't want to be that guy.
Pushy McNitpick.
No, douchey McNitpick.
Oh, douchey Nick.
Yeah, I don't want to be douchey McNitpick, from the start.
Ooh, Super Academy! You failed!
Just some helpful tip in case you guys haven't seen it or anything. If you want to think, check any future episodes or anything, just to make sure it's only the credits, too. It's the names are there. It's a puzzle. Figure it out. Watch the credits. People always watch the credits because there's something cool afterwards, and we're going to talk about that right now. So, post-credit scene.
This is very mysterious.
Yeah,
I don't really know what's going on.
This was a fantastic post-credit scene because it adds a whole level of anticipation for the next one, but also there's an emotional moment. It's a whole nother scene within a few seconds of what's going on.
So it's basically Dark Cop waking up in his lair, right? And there's Power Kid sleeping.
Yeah, they get into their room. Oh, and maybe this supports that they're roommates.
I guess it does. Yeah.
I hope they're roommates. Maybe they're confirming that with this. Anyway, so Power Kitty's kind of sleeping on a sleeping on a beanbag chair or something. I don't know.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
He's sleeping on a floor, a covered floor area of some kind. And Dark Cop uses his cape as a blanket. He hears the computer's beeping saying it found results and it found the location of Death Side, the Conqueror. And then we get this really nice shot of Dark Cop. He says he looks all pleased, I found the location. He gets up, and there's this great moment of pause. He looks at Power Kid. Power Kid's sleeping, and this is a great shot. But this epitomizes Power Kid. He's a regular guy. It's just the mask is turned in a way because he's sleeping, and his head's going slanting on a side there, so the mask is riding up. Mm-hmm. And his nose is like one of the eyes for the thing or something. Basically, it's he has two eyes and the nose is another eye, it looks like.
Sure.
Point is the mask is all skewed and there. He's just sleeping, he's out of it. And then Dark Cop, he just sees that and then he's on his way out the door. And two things. One, it's I think looking at Power Kid in a way, it's him maybe rationalizing to himself, I should probably wait for backup, but I'm going to do this to protect him. Basically, I'm doing this for my friend, or I don't want to let him onto it. I don't want to put him in danger because it's a personal issue for him. His emotions might get in the way. Questions like that, Dark Cop would factor in his mind. He's thinking, backup might be an option, but I don't want to involve Power Kid. If I involve anyone else, they're going to tell Power Kid, so I got to do this alone.
And I also think the looming thing hanging over this is the whole subplot of Dark Cop potentially being led into a trap.
Oh, certainly. And, my last emotion watching this whole thing was it's going to sound so silly, but it was oh no, Dark Cop, don't go alone. Don't, no. That cadence and everything is no, Dark Cop, don't go alone, no. But again, it's something so, again, even though it's the post-credit scenes, it's kind of tacked on. It's building anticipation for the next one. And importantly, it's Dark Cop at his core. He's doing all this for Power Kid. He's going after Death Side for Power Kid. He's doing it alone. For Packer, something moving about that. He's slowly caring about this guy. He's befriended him, and now he's doing. It's not a sacrificial thing quite yet, but he's doing it for Power Kid, and he's his friend, whether he will verbally through every definition in the book admit it or not. Mm-hmm. In the little pocket-sized Webster's Dictionary. So that's the end of the episode. Really great post-credit scene.
Okay, so do you want to go to speculation or overall thoughts first?
Yeah, let's go. I don't have a lot of speculation. Just real quick, what do you got for speculation?
Well, I think there's quite a few things up in the air here.
Oh, sure, go through them. Let's start.
Yeah, obviously the big looming thing is that Dark Cop's being led into a trap, and I'm sure probably rescuing Dark Cop is going to be the big sort of set piece of the finale. Would you say that's pretty on the money?
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I think Dark Cop's gonna get really beat up.
I know. I'm worried about Dark
Yeah,
Cop. I really am. I really am.
I don't think he's going to be killed, but I think that
They're not going to kill him. He's not.
Yeah.
He's one of the characters. I think Power Kid, and Dark Cop are the two characters.
Yeah, at the heart of the show and the spine of the show is based around those two characters. We have no show without those two characters.
Sure.
They're great opposites to each other. We've been through all this before, and the thing about that though is with Dark is that it's like I'm not saying they're going to go in like a Nightfall like backbreaking direction with them, but I think it's going to be like I got to tell you, wouldn't it be kind of a moving thing if by the end of the next episode, because again, there is a big question. Here's the big thing to speculate on, kind of piggybacking off of this to that. Is that the big question is like how much finality are we going to get from this last? Because again, ideally these guys are going to come back to doing more seasons, but smartly they should probably leave it in kind of like an okay final place just in case,
Or is it going to be like Gallivant? It's literally just like cliffhanger.
Gallivant was very lucky. So was recently Impastor. They luckily, I was fearing that show was going to get canceled after one season, but no, they got.
Gallivant was extremely lucky.
Let's just say, for those who watch it, Impastor has a cliffhanger, and thankfully it's going to have a second season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and also 10 episodes, kind of like the same range of Gallivant,
Right.
Anyway, what I'm saying is like there's a question of finale, but wouldn't it be kind of like a good kind of a finale if it's Power Kid saving Dark Cop and kind of battling through his issues here, and at the last like Dark Cop gets like beaten, like a lot of bad stuff happened to him, tortured, who knows, and like you imagine Deathside has a lot of frustration with Dark Cop because you're a friend of my son, you're kind of a reason he's still on that side of good. I really don't like you. You've corrupted my perfect view of family. You ruined my family.
Right.
And again, in those live streams, he really doesn't like Deathside really doesn't like Dark Cop. So, I mean, I'm imagining he has a lot of anger issues with Dark Cop. He might beat the crap out of him. I can imagine again, maybe a bit of a Dark Chaotix, like the Chaotix, like kind of like oosh, like he beat up like so bit like ow, that is excessive. That is like punster excessive.
Oh God.
And basically by the end you could have like an emotional end scene to the whole first season of being like a Power Kid. He sees the beaten up Death Cut. Sorry, I don't know why. The beaten up. But I'm saying because we're talking about death and stuff. That's why the beating the pieces at Dark Cop, and basically Power Kid gets really mad at him, and then gets really mad at Deathside, and he finds the strength to face his father through that. Like my friend has been really injured. I'm saying the inspiring image of the thing would be like not an apology scene, but like a little aftermath scene of like Dark Cop like in cast and everything, and maybe be like a big moment of like he takes the mask off.
Right, yeah.
Remember now Power Kid knows Dark Cop's first name.
He does.
Yeah. Anyway, so it could be like a moment of like just showing like also we've seen Power Kid without the mask. It'd be more like Dark Cop takes off the mask, just shows he's a real guy, and just showing like him beaten up in like in a cast and in like a wheelchair or something. Just like Power Kid like in this like. If they could mirror that pilot shot, but like Power Kid wheeling Dark Cop out of a hospital room or a medical infirmary or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like showing those two guys are together through thick and thin, and just like one of them will take that much abuse for the other guy. And that could be nice. Something like they show like these guys, they're bonded. These guys are their pals.
Really quick speculation. I mean, I wonder how much we're going to get out of Deathside and Power Kid, how much that's going to boil to the surface. I wonder if there's going to be kind of like you said, it's not necessarily a liar revealed sort of thing, but I wonder if Glyph's going to learn the truth about why Deathside was in her vision. Kind of a lot of hanging, like, I wonder if anyone's going to get together by the end. Of course, we're not saying it has to happen, but it'd be fun if it did.
Well,
And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So with that, I don't think, again, what I said before, I don't think anyone's going to get together necessarily. Again, it would be welcome. But here's importantly what you said before that, though. I think, logically, if Dark Cop is lured into a trap, Power Kid's not going to go alone. I don't think he's going to go. At least he's going to try to go alone. Then Glyph's going to probably figure out what's going on and tag along. And with that, Power Kid will have to explain, why Deathside has captured Dark Cop, and I think the truth's going to come out then. Then it'll be tested their friendship. And why didn't you tell me this? It's kind of a painful thing. Well, I understand. Again, they could take the Kim Wexler route of like understanding character. So I think this show has enough credit to do. They have great fantastic female characters, no barbers among the bunch.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, it's.
And then also, really quickly, I do wonder if Starburst is going to get a moment of redemption in the finale.
Yeah. Again,
I would like to think he would. Somehow.
I really wish the finale could somehow be like 40 minutes. I really do. But,
that would be fantastic. Yeah. But that's kind of asking a lot budget-wise.
It is. But again, gotta bear in mind, originally they would have had and they just got their funding. They would have ended at 3 because they got over their funding. They got 4 episodes, so that's pushing it already.
Sure, exactly.
In a good way, in a great way. But
so right now, we're reaping the benefits of that extra.
We are. It's. Okay. I'm kind of hoping the direction they might go in the future is if they do if they somehow serialize the Meet the Hero segments into like a mini season in between seasons, kind of like what they did.
I think that'd be a good way to go.
I think that would be kind of smart to kind of keep things alive, and that would also build interest in it and then keep fans of the show. And then perhaps that'd be like if fundraising time comes around for season 2, that'd be a half year. If ideally, again, the season goes well, the Escapist Network might be very generous. Maybe foot half of the bill or a substantial amount of the bill.
Right.
The funding that comes from your already, fan base you got there. Like if you have like 3,000 people, everyone gives $1. We're good. But that'd be good for getting funding down the line. But,
sure.
Again, the show deserves more seasons.
Indeed. So really quickly, our final thoughts here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fine. So, yeah, this episode, again, we've been saying with the other 2 episodes, particularly, is that each episode has a really distinct flavor, which is a quality I really love about it. Like each episode is like the first one's kind of our plot, kind of establishing the established order episode. Episode 2 is our character-based kind of comedic episode.
Yeah, it was more of a broad comedy sort of episode for sure.
Yeah, so of course you got some emotion underneath it all, and of course your dark out moments where the plot kind of moving. Again, the show's built around those guys. It's kind of your Fonzie, Richie, or we had a better analogy last episode. I cannot remember what the better analogy was. Rorschach and Night Owl. That's it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, your Rorschach, Night Owl, and this one was an adventure episode. It was not I guess kind of a quest, but it was an adventure episode regardless. They're going on an adventure.
It does, yeah. Like I said, it does kind of remind me of a Steven Universe episode in that way. It's like, because every Steven Universe episode, for the most part, is just like, hey, we're going on this quest that may or may not advance the plot, but you'll learn something about the characters. Yeah,
so you've got an adventure, of course, with Power Kid and Glyph, and you also got kind of your action. It's like the action adventure episode, because your action one, you got the Death Side battle going on.
And you've got a lot of really good action going on.
And of course, the next one's probably going to be kind of the climax or the epic. I think it's good. I think the next one I'm hoping is going to be the most kind of super heroic out of all of them. This is going to be like the whole show is kind of based around you're training these heroes. They're getting their sea legs, so to speak. They're learning their stuff, and it's like they're getting a chance to break out of the learning environment. So now you're in the midst of an adventure. You guys are fully realized here's for a moment, for an adventure here. You're going, you're in the I think next episode is going to be pure third act of a superhero movie.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I think they're going for. But he's the big emotional climb. This is where we get all the issues out here. You left me. You think you're better than me, Power Kid. What would your mother say?
Oh dear. All right.
Don't you talk about her. I'm speculating what it could be, folks. We have no idea.
But interestingly enough, Steven Universe, the mother is also a very sensitive issue.
Again, I'm assuming it's going to be purely awesome. That's what I'm saying. One last thing to speculate on before we finish up the final thoughts, if I may. So again, with the whole finality question, the reason I bring the finality question up in the first place is because there was a smart question of how much do we progress Chaotrix here? Do we save her, or do we put her in an ambiguous place, or do we just keep her on the side? Is it going to be like an Avatar thing of Zuko, turn to the dark side or turn to the light side? I
think ambiguity would be the best direction to go in.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat. We'll see. Again, it's a question of how well they. Again, there's a lot of pressure on this next episode. It kind of says what they're. The Academy folks. There is a lot of importance with this next episode because it kind of says. We've been given a lot of leeway saying, these episodes have been great, they're fantastic, kind of setting stuff up. And the build is easy as long as you do it right. The build is easy if you do it right. But that ending is where you earn all that build.
Certainly.
So I think they got it in them to make that ending count, but it's just they got to build. They just got to sell it.
Mhm. Okay, so yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I think we've kind of run through it.
Very engaging. It's got a brisk storytelling, and it's very impressive.
I think my favorite element of this episode is that I feel like this episode kind of cemented Power Kid, Dark Cop, Corona, and Glyph as like the four main central characters in this show. I think this episode did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, and again, like the worst thing I can say about this episode is like there's a minor missed opportunity, but with that minor missed opportunity just makes me want more. Just like explore that angle. Just give me more.
I'm sure we're gonna get some of that in the finale.
I'm sure we're gonna get at least some of it. It's basically all the stuff I wanted like a hint of in this episode. I'm sure we're gonna get tons of it in the next episode.
Exactly.
And it's fine. It all evens out, folks. So it's fantastic episode.
All right, so with that in mind,
gauntlet. How much cooler can you get?
All right, so join us in our next installment as we continue to reflect on the little project that could, and in the end turned into something truly super. Next time on the Super Academy Chronicles.
Miscreant.
Five.